Okay. Let's double check to make sure everything's live, but it should be. So hello everyone, it's a fair programming error that just refuses to be fixed. Code here. And I'm doing another Genshin stream today. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? And Spinne is experiencing a video error. How rare. That's never happened before, has it? Hello Gabe, by the way. Welcome to the stream. Let me actually hop into the game right away. Well, that's... well, that was off to a good start. Damn. Alright. So we will be doing... what never happened before? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. So, by the way... what I will be doing, I think... wait, I have Kaveh to... oh my god, I didn't realize... I mean, I knew I still needed to finish Kaya, but I didn't realize that we also didn't finish Kaveh yet. Anyway, this would basically be what I will do for the stream besides wishing. I will not wish right away, I will give people a chance to show up. So you know what, in the meantime... no, I will not pull right away. I want to give people a chance to show up first. If I pull right now... then some people might miss the wishes who want to be there for them. So I'll do like a little bit of the hangouts and then we'll go ahead, okay? Seen the doodle? I took a quick look at it. It does look pretty impressive. Some kind of stance change ability, if I saw that correctly. Those are always pretty powerful. 10 minutes? Ah, well, I guess Rob won't be here for the wishes then. We have it 6. Ah, I see. That's a pain. Well, I hope you're gonna get better soon. With your foot. How long until wishes? I don't know exactly how long. I just want to give... I just want to wait a while so people can show up. Defensive magic defense. So basically like Aegislash is what you're saying.
Alhaitham isn't in.
Yeah, of course he isn't in. Alright.
Oh, nothing.
We will skip through the parts we've already seen.
I'm happy for... anyway, enough about that.
Although it has been a while since we've done this, I really forgot that we still had Kaveh hangouts left to do.
Obviously, I would... now that I've said that out loud, I suppose I do have some level of artistic talent, right?
Why do you say that?
Criticism and self-doubt have always been a part of the artistic
well,
process.
I got my doctor's appointment scheduled.
Criticism,
Good,
there can be
good.
no improvement. It's normal.
So I'm assuming your cough is still as persistent as ever. Which, yeah, bit of a But I do hope it gets better.
I admit that I may have spent a little too long questioning myself this time around. But as you know, the heart tends to dwell on whatever it pleases. Anyway, never mind. The more I talk about it, the less confident I feel. Let's see what else we have in the box. Ah, my building blocks.
Alright.
It's been years since I've last seen these.
Are we back? Well then. I am suddenly very worried. Let me tap back in. So, I started up the stream. And the moment I tapped back into the game since I went live, it immediately had the reconnecting thing in the game. And now we've been streaming for, what, a few minutes? And now the entire stream had to reconnect. This does not bode well. But we'll see. Maybe we're good now, I hope. 5 minutes, damn. Second stance. Ooh, that is interesting. But again, that depends on I don't know, D-Luke, I guess. I think for me it's obvious who I'm going with, right?
I could tell what you were thinking. Don't worry, I've tried mine. I've even tried stuff I wouldn't try that.
Alright, asking acquaintances, then maybe we should put it aside for now.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the alternate path, right?
Although I was hoping to find some words of wisdom from my mother, if I stop and think about it, her words may not be the advice that I need to hear right at this moment. Everyone's life journey is different. Traveler, you've visited many lands and met many people, so I'm sure you've run into situations where some advice wasn't exactly suitable for the situation at hand.
Perhaps, perhaps not.
I just got an idea, though. If I want to rekindle the creative passion that I had before, instead of trying to unlock an old notebook, why don't I take a walk around the parts of town that had changed my life?
And there we go, so that's what we're doing now.
What do you think?
Sounds good to me. Let's take another walk around Sumeru. Because we are, after all, gonna be very invested in Fontaine going
I'm
forward.
glad you agree. Then let's start by taking a quick stroll around the academia.
Alright, to the academia. Season 3? Soon? Yeah, it's... Again, I posted about that on the Discord a while ago. About the developer saying soon. And that took a while. You see, the thing is, I know that Tormuse is currently streaming Season 3, but I can't watch his streams. Because, again, if I were to watch his streams, I would spoil myself. Because I want to wait until the collection is out. September? Oh, so pretty soon. Alright, academia, here we go. So, what exactly are we looking for around here? Just taking a stroll, I guess, but is there anything we want to check out while in here?
Of all the places in the academia,
Snow it.
I remember this
We'll
one
see.
most. When my studies got busy, I used to pull all-nighters here trying to finish my blueprints.
You sound like you almost miss it.
Who doesn't miss their time at the academia? Life was a lot simpler then, and we all had far less troubles.
That's so, huh?
I created many designs that I thought were beautiful in the House of Dana. I drew whatever came to mind, since I didn't have to care about budget constraints or turning them into reality.
Why did you like to draw in the House of Dana?
If I had to give a reason, it'd probably be because I like the ambiance here.
I get that, Rob, I get it.
The academia also had a rule that allowed scholars to annotate any physical books they came across.
Can't wait until I'm back
As a result, the
sucked
books
into
here
the
are
DLC
chock-full
again.
of scholars' wisdom across many generations.
Alright. Oh no, I'm being forced to play as the Traveler. How could this be? Something specific about this bookshelf?
Oh, here, this is a great example. This book, History of Ancient Sumeru Architecture, contains some analysis that I did many years ago.
Aha.
Huh? Why is Al-Haytham's handwriting also in here? When did he ever read this book?
Oh no, you can't escape Al-Haytham.
I guess it's probably from when we worked on that research project together. Anyway, he probably never cared to tell you this, but the House of Dana is where Al-Haytham and I first met. I came here to do my homework, and saw him sitting by himself next to that row of bookshelves. A group of long-taught scholars were chatting near him, but he looked as if he was too lazy to join them. There was a pretty stark difference between him and all the rest of them.
Is that so?
It was my fault for feeling bad for him. I thought he must have gotten into some kind of trouble
no.
when I went over to ask if he needed anything, not realizing
Kaveh, so it's your own fault?
Not
It's your own
realizing
fault
that
you involved?
You were in fact the one in a whole heap of trouble?
Oh shit. Oh, he's here. Oh no.
Alhaitham?
Unlucky.
Why are you here?
Very unlucky. Speak of the devil.
The House of Dana is a public space. Anyone can come here, no?
But shouldn't you be at the records room at this hour? You're not here to watch me make a fool of myself, are you?
Oh boy. Also, hang on. Arnold Keeler? I probably butchered that name, but hello, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna be wishing for Zhongli today. Once again, it's been a while.
Hey, I see an annoying girl running toward me from
There
a
it
distance,
goes.
waving her arms in the air.
It's a
like
joy
she's
to see
totally
together. It is
oblivious to
true,
any
it is
attention
true,
she might
Gabe.
draw to herself. That girl is Sori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children.
From watching you fall
You
into
know, the
depression
kind
over
of
your
friend
life's
you never
various
see
troubles?
yourself making today. But it just
If
kind
that's
of
the
works out
case,
because you've
then
known
I
each other
suppose
for
I
so
must have been
long.
entertaining myself
We
for
used to walk
years.
to school together on days like this. But Star.
But star indeed. But yeah. Amazing
I came
entertainment
here to pick
from
up a few
Alhaitham here.
files. If your voice hadn't managed to get through my soundproof earpieces, I probably wouldn't have noticed you.
All right. I admit I was probably overreacting just now.
Well, want to continue the story?
Probably not when he's right here with us. As his senior, I shouldn't try to tarnish his reputation.
Oh.
There was nothing embarrassing or shameful about it. When I was still a student at the academia, I once collaborated with Kaveh on a research project.
Shouldn't be
The
hanging around.
collaboration is
Damn it.
usually beneficial
God
for all
damn it,
parties,
chat.
but due to issues with our personalities, we ended up going our separate ways before completing the project. We had a number of differences, and they remain unresolved even today. But there's no point going into that right now. The more important question is, why are you at the House of Dana?
Kaveh's feeling a little, you know.
As a senior scholar, isn't it my responsibility to offer my friend a quick tour and explanation of the academia's architecture?
Is that what this is, really?
I see. Then let me guess. Your next stop will be the pavilions around Razan Garden? Our famed architect sure loves showing off that corner to all his friends. Oh, and Kaveh.
Are you gonna
A
come
lot of
with?
the books you annotated have been moved to the innermost section of that bookshelf over there. You'll have to dig them out yourself if you need to find them.
Wait, did the throw... Rob, stop, the throw command is broken. I tested it before the stream. Is it because everything disconnected? Is it because everything disconnected? Because I tested it before the stream, it didn't work, so I restarted everything, and then it worked. And now that we're actually streaming, my guess is because it disconnected that everything stopped working. I am very sorry about that.
Huh?
I guess we'll have to
But
deal.
why would you know that? Don't tell me you finally had an epiphany.
Epiphany?
And realized that there's great virtue in respecting your elders' work.
Just Alhaitham?
Sure, if that will give you some self-confidence. Leave any words of thanks you may have to the ex-Grand Conservator. The last time he was here, he was complaining that he had received reports from current students. The main grievance being that the annotations are too long and difficult to read. As a result, the books you annotated have been moved to the back shelves.
What? But all of my annotations were extremely important.
Not anymore.
Instead of reporting me, they should have been thanking me for my service. The notes that I took, they couldn't have asked for a better analysis of those books. Okay, just you wait. I'm going to fix this right now.
Are you now?
I'll dig all the books out and return them to the proper shelves.
Oh, we'll wait.
Waiting is about all we can do.
Anyway, you were about to say he's feeling a bit down?
I like how this is a Kaveh hangout, and now Kaveh is leaving, and we're alone with Alhaitham. Yep, that feels about right. Of course he would hijack Kaveh's hangout event. Of course he would hijack it. He was put through the ringer recently by a particularly difficult client.
Put through the ringer. What an interesting phrase. I assume he used those exact words himself?
It doesn't seem far from the truth, though.
He probably did suffer quite a bit, that's true. He always spends a lot of time editing his proposals, with the goal of satisfying as many of the client's preferences as possible. But the satisfaction of one client will not translate to general satisfaction with his work. Many problems in life can only be solved by a fundamental change of attitude. As the leading genius of Ksharawar, Kaveh should have both the right and the confidence to reject any unreasonable demands. There are plenty of architects in Sumeru who are inferior to him in skill, yet far more irascible in temperament.
Alright.
What's more, there are plenty of people who look up to such individuals as paragons of staying true to one's principles.
So the problem is with Kaveh.
Clearly, his predicament is inevitable, since he holds other people's feelings as more important than his own. Of course,
How?
each person is different, and we should respect the paths that they have chosen for themselves.
Crutches. Well, are you getting used to using those crutches?
Admonitions will serve no purpose. People tend to succumb to familiar pitfalls, and this is especially true for those who believe it's their duty to carry more burdens on their shoulders.
By the way, using those crutches, do you do like a 3-point walk, or do you do an alternating one? I assume since you have problems with one foot in particular, it's a 3-point walk, right? I would assume. But yeah, I imagine stairs are a problem. I am fully aware that stairs are a bit of a problem with crutches. Because you have to, like, you have to only use one crutch, normally. Like, normally if you have a handrail, it's easier. You use the handrail with one arm, and then you hold both crutches in the other. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, it is doable, technically. But I know the pain.
Looks like you were having an enjoyable chat while I was gone. Were you talking about me by any chance?
Perhaps.
What do you think?
What else is there to talk about? Surely no one would be interested in talking about the files that you were browsing through earlier.
Oh, what files were you browsing through?
Anyway, you should take a look at this. Look at this comment on page 82. Dear Kaveh, thank you so much for annotating this book in such detail. It was a great help to me. See that? Now that's how a student
There
should
go
treat
the
their senior.
hearts.
And it looks like you're already in a much better mood now. It really doesn't take much to make you happy, huh?
Me happy? I'm mocking that retired blockhead for being so full of himself. He understands nothing about the true beauty of architecture.
Sure.
When I can find some time, I'll have a serious talk with him about making sure these books are put where they belong.
Why don't you just move all the books yourself? It's
Effort?
not like he hasn't cursed you out before. What was that nickname he gave you?
How
when
many
you were in
books
the
is it? Do you
academia?
need help? I
The
feel like it could
Urchin
be a
of
lot of effort.
Ksharawar?
Wait, what?
Kaveh had a habit of scribbling and writing in all kinds of books.
Hey! You didn't need to bring that up. At least not when I'm still standing here. Oh, actually, I also found a really old sketch in one of the books over there. See? Doesn't it remind you of something?
I don't really get it.
Huh? Don't tell me even you don't get it.
Don't ask me. This is the time you specifically put aside to brag about yourself.
7,672 books.
Feel free
Of
to hoard all
course.
the spotlight you want.
This is gonna be a long hangout.
You... In that case, allow me to explain. Although this sketch is a little abstract, you can plainly see from the road plans that this was an original concept for the expansion of Port Ormos.
We can also plainly see that the designer was a huge fan of this project.
Oh,
It's
really?
the project he loves to talk about the most, second to the Palace of Alcazarzare.
If I don't keep bringing up the neat
Anyway,
projects
see
that
ya.
I've done,
Alright,
how would
Rob,
anyone
see you
know that
around,
I
see
was
you
the one who
around.
did them in the first place?
We'll see if anyone else wants to see the wishes. By the way, I also want to show off a little bit about how my grind has been going for
There
Primo
shouldn't be any
Gems.
complaints about Port Ormos. If I remember correctly, the construction process was very smooth. Everything was made ready ahead of time, and there were very few safety concerns.
There are indeed no records of any complaints about this project. A most impressive achievement.
See? What did I tell you?
Parting gift? Oh.
お前はもう死んでいる。
Well, I'll have to see which character I'm currently playing, but odds are it's Zhongli, which is upsetting.
Come on, let's take a stroll through Port Ormos next. I'll tell you all about the designs I made for the place.
Are you going to come too, Alhaitham?
No need. It's almost time to clock out for the day, and I don't intend on bringing any unfinished work home.
Suit yourself.
Alright,
It's not like
the
you know how
ritual to get
appreciate
C6.
artistry anyway.
Yes,
Let's go, traveler.
I must sacrifice
I'll take you to
Zhongli
Port Ormos.
to get Zhongli. No, I was playing as Klee! Well, damn. Well then. But yeah, I will kill myself. I'll have to... If I teleport over here and jump off the bridge, that should do it. So let's do that. Alright. Nice evening. Well, Kellner, that is... I mean... Okay, then. Alright, time to jump off. Let's go! Ow. And back up. Alright.
お前はもう死んでいる。
You are kidding me. Alright, I'm in the middle of dialogue, so I can't right now.
Ormos.
Did you design one of the buildings here?
No, I didn't design any one specific building. Most of my work here concerned structural renovation. Port Ormos had already existed since I was still a young child. It wasn't as large as it is now, though. It only came to its current size
He's
after a
robbing.
sizable expansion.
Robbing me of
I
my
was part of that
characters.
project. The arch bridge over there, for example, that was one of my designs.
How did you come up with the idea for it?
When I was first tasked with the project, I decided to reference the growth patterns of nearby trees to split Port Ormos into 2 levels. My goal was to improve the overall utilization of space.
Interesting, Rob. Interesting.
We ran into a lot of issues during construction, but thankfully, we were still able to achieve the original vision. Residents can now behold all the ships entering and leaving the harbor from the vantage point of the bridge, while visitors can recognize the site of Port Ormos from a long ways away.
Huh.
I was still young and new to the trade back then. I could hardly believe that an idea in my head could become reality and remain in the world for many years to come.
Well, look at you. You should
The
pat
true
yourself on the back.
cornerstone of the creative process. The point about the design that will be ultimately used to judge its true worth. It was the first time that it became crystal clear in my mind. Once built, a building will continue to stand. Countless people
I
will
mean,
see it,
not
and
forever
countless more will
normally.
step inside it.
A lot of them
Its
get torn
final
down
worth,
eventually.
Whether it's good or bad, will be assessed by the countless generations of people that interact with the building during their lives.
I'm sure the residents of Port Ormos really enjoyed. I think it's pretty cool.
You think
Whoa,
so?
that's
I'm
full.
glad to hear that. But even
Well,
with
that
this
was
project,
easy.
I still had one small regret. My budget was tight, and I was unable to use the higher quality timber I had originally intended for the design. I knew that some concessions on aesthetics
Wow,
would
it's
be
pretty
needed
cool.
as soon as I agreed to a proposal that prioritized the practical functions of the project. Us creative types know better than anyone that most projects cannot be completed without a few regrets. Even the Palace of Alcazarzaray was not perfect.
But having no regrets would also mean you have no higher hopes for the future.
Yeah, you're right. I should learn to look toward future opportunities and believe that any regrets I have can be overcome in time. We've spent long enough here. There's still one last place I want to go, but it's a little far. Would you be interested in a quick trip to the desert?
I wouldn't mind. Back to the desert. I've spent a lot of time there recently, in fact, off stream.
Great. Most of my projects over the last few years have had something to do with the desert, partially because there's a special place there that I often visit. This is
Oh,
a rare
really?
opportunity, so why don't you come along and see it for yourself? If you ever feel down, maybe you'll be able to go there and feel better too.
Let's see this place, but first, you already know what I have to do. By the command of Rob, I sacrifice my Zhongli.
You shouldn't see me like this.
It is done. You know what? I'll do the first 10 pull, okay? It's a deal. 1 10 pull now. The rest will be saved until later. Doesn't seem like I am lucky. Not this time. Alright, what did I get though? A lot of debate clubs again? The bell. No character. It's fine, I don't need a character if it's not gonna be Zhongli.
May the glory of the princesses bring light.
But now, desert. You saw how much Primos? 65,000. As for Stardust, I am not sure, I'd have to check. But I do like using the Stardust to get the special weapons.
So many primal constructs could have congregated here while I was gone. We won't be able to sit and talk.
お前はもう死んでいる。
Let's clear the area.
Alright, so Official is gonna die too. Never mind, Kaveh is going to die. Damn, they gave me a trial character just so I have to let him die. Because it forced me to play as him. Attack. Kaveh shows death. Yeah, that he did. May I just say that I don't have any good attackers left now.
I've been through worse.
Klee is my best DP, my best like group attacker, and Zhongli is like my backup DPS as well, on top of being support. And now I have neither of them. So this is gonna be tedious.
お前はもう死んでいる。
Alright then. Alright, I can't stand there. I would literally get healed if I stand there. I'm not sure if I can die. At least not to these enemies. I don't think these enemies can actually kill me. Or at least it would take forever. Because you see, I just recovered health again. I regenerate HP when I get attacked. And they're just not dealing anywhere near enough damage. Okay, I think I am dying.
I'm fine.
Almost. Come on.
Everyone has their limits.
All right.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
Okay,
never mind. You know you just gave me a full revive. You know that, right? You know if everyone on my team dies, they just get brought back to life automatically. I should probably thank you for this. I'll just have to redo this fight again, but I didn't even deal any damage. I legit didn't deal any damage to these opponents.
By royal decree. La la la.
お前はもう死んでいる。
Alright, haven't seen the game over screen in ages. Yeah, same here, same here. Alright, there goes my shield. Now I can actually take damage. This will take a moment. Also, hello CodeErr, I'm currently dying because Rob forces me to die. Rob redeemed the kill my character redeem 5 times in a row. Actually, no, more than 5 times. We're on 6 times now.
お前
6,
はもう死んでいる
7. Okay, fine, 7 times in a row.
What did you do that for? I wanna go home now.
Come at me. Solidify.
お前はもう死んでいる
Damn it. Oh wait, never mind, they're dead. Alright, fine, I'll have to jump off a bridge somewhere
I
after
often come
this.
here to clear my mind when I'm dealing with a difficult situation.
But yeah, welcome CodeErr. We do be encountering each other very often in other people's streams, I've realized.
You know what I mean. Everyone finds themselves in frustrating situations once in a while. Just take me as an example. My family life got shaken up quite a bit when I was young. I struggled in school, and I got into a huge pile of debt building the palace of
Indeed,
Alcazar.
indeed we do, yes.
Although
I
a
streamed the
half
other
of me
day.
thinks that it's
Huh.
because of my personality that I continue to live
Sometimes
in the
stuff just
shadow of
works
the
out, huh?
past. I think it's also
It
just
do be a
part of
small
life.
world, though.
Plus, if I look back, I've honestly had my fair share of good luck as well. You could probably say I followed in the path of my mother. Like her, I've gained a name for myself as an architect, built something that's seen as my magnum opus, and found many projects that others have entrusted to me to finish.
You also haven't completely lost your passion for life. Last time I did a Rompa stream, I think it was a Danganronpa stream, yeah, pretty sure. I think it's always either Danganronpa or DDLC where we run into each other. Pretty sure. Although I think last time was the first time we ran into each other during a Danganronpa stream. You also haven't
Life
completely
is
lost
too
your passion,
boring
yeah.
when you live with no enthusiasm and passion. Only those who believe in the inherent meaning of it can capture the small nuances of everyday life
Robs.
and turn them into inspiration for beautiful designs. Of course, I will concede that loving something also means taking it to heart. So to an extent, caring is also a source of pain. If I didn't love my work, I wouldn't be so torn up about it all the time.
I mean, he's making some points here, but I'm never too torn up about streaming. I guess I don't love it. I guess I don't love
Still, isn't
streaming.
this place beautiful?
If that's how it
Despite the
is.
erosion from the winds and changing seasons, you can still perceive its past beauty and glory. With different landforms come different architectural styles. The desert's history has left it with few records regarding its buildings, so I often visit the desert to investigate things in person. The sight here has moved me ever since the first time I laid my eyes on it. I told myself that one day, I would also be able to create buildings that move others.
Imagine that. I want to get back to stream, but I also don't want people to think I'm dying when I cough. Very fair. Just wait and see what comes out during the doctor's appointment, I guess.
My pain will one day fade into nothing, just as I reach the end of my life. But buildings are different. They are far more valuable
Dying for
than
the
most
funny.
materialistic things,
Damn.
and far more durable than human flesh. As long as there remain souls in the world who can decipher the meaning behind them, they will also have acknowledged me across the vast stream of time. If you were to ask me what art is, that would be my answer.
Now that's more like the Kaveh I know.
You think so? But I
See,
feel
I'm
I've
dying.
always been like
Imagine.
this.
Oh, there are actually quite a few people here. Hello, everyone. I am, in fact, dying because of Rob. After this conversation is over, I have to kill whatever character I'm currently playing again.
Remember that question I brought up before? The one about whether I should see art as a divine gift of inspiration from the gods, or as a product of my own existential struggle? I still haven't found an answer to that yet. But if art wasn't inherently paradoxical, and
Real
enigmatic,
commitment to the bit, yeah,
then
sure.
people probably wouldn't be drawn to it. Those who pursue art will be unable to avoid the pain that it naturally brings. Will often be floating on cloud 9 one second and sinking in a mire the next. I'll try gathering my thoughts again once I've found a way to define art in the first place. In any case, thank you so much for listening to everything I had to say.
Is this the ending, or are we still gonna go somewhere else? Feels like an ending. Yep, there it is. Beneath the stars. My pain will one day fade into nothing, just as I reach the end of my life. But my buildings will endure. Also, yeah, I am playing as Zhongli again. Alright, fine. Let's find a... Let's navigate to the next section here real quick. Let's do... Well, I guess I have no choice but to go back to here. And wherever that takes me, I should hopefully find a spot where I can kill myself. I think if I just go up here, I can just jump to my death. Alright. Might as well drop straight onto my target destination, right? Just drop down there with style by dying. Might as well, you are right. Alright, let's go. Whee! Ow.
Feeling a little off.
I wonder why he's feeling a little off. What is this, bootleg Breath of the Wild? I know, right? How could I play this game?
Taking this commission was truly the worst decision ever.
Alright, we've seen this dialogue already, so I'm
Actually, while
skipping
we're on
ahead
that,
till we get to new
what are
stuff.
you doing here at the tavern? Don't listen
I
to
followed
anyone.
you here.
So you saw that, did you?
Oh no, that's the same.
Stress is just an inescapable part of
Yeah, a lot of
working
people are making the
adult.
comparison.
Boss, I'll have a glass. Do you want something too? I'll put it on my tab.
I'll have a glass of juice, I guess.
I know you're already keeping that god. Another glass.
You've got it.
It really is, but perhaps getting.
Oh god, he's getting drunk again.
All of this make
Here's your drink.
boss.
Both compared to each other, it does happen a lot, yeah.
What do you think?
Okay. Resonates with the masses. I honestly have no idea what art is.
No worries. It was just an offhand question. It's been bothering me for a while. Even when I'm awake, the question haunts me like a bad dream. I still haven't found a good answer.
Yeah,
to
amazing quote. 108. Jack the wine didn't help his mood. How can I help cheer him up? Play it safe and just make a simple suggestion. I'll help you convince the client to come to your side.
Thanks for offering, but you've seen how he is.
How you say it?
He's not
Wouldn't
going
you
to
like
listen
to know?
anything I say. He understands nothing about my design, and all the suggestions he made were as if he just wanted to mock me.
I don't think he was intentionally trying to be difficult.
Okay, it is possible that I was just jaded by my frustration. Well, given I'm already on my 6th draft, I can probably push myself to make a 7th.
Let's go,
Let's
he's
go have
doing
another
it.
talk with him. I know where we'd be able to find the guy. There's no time to waste. The wine can wait until another time. I'll go take care of the bill.
Good, because you drank most of it. Alright, let's look for the client, I guess. Oh, that is pretty far away. By the way, I want to show you. I've been doing a lot of exploring to get extra primo gems. Now you're already aware, I've gotten 100% in all of Mondstadt, except Dragonspine, all of Liyue, as you can see, and all of Inazuma. Including the chasm. Can't really see it because I'm covering it. Damn, I really am covering it. Actually, no, it doesn't even show up. It should show up. There it is. Chasm 100% and Enkanomiya. Also 100%. Now let's go back over and show you how much exploring I've been doing recently. Avidia Forest 100%. The valley is 100%. The jungle is 100%. The desert over here, the Hippostal Desert, the land of Upper Setek, all those are 100%. These two areas up here are 100%. Do you have 100% in the Serenity pod? Ooh, that is a good question. Who shall ever know? That one. Where they go? Jesus Christ, his great power of gun. Ah, that is a good one. But yeah, I have been doing a lot of exploring to get a lot of extra primo gems. So we can definitely do a lot of pulls today. Cards Against Humanity. Ah, of course. Alright, there's the client. Let's go.
What are you doing here?
I've changed my mind. I was overreacting earlier. Can we try discussing the project some more?
My apologies as well.
Oh, actually
Now that I think about
apologizing.
it, some of my requests were indeed a bit unreasonable. If I choose you to create the design for my project, I should have a bit more faith in your vision.
Ah, Meiji. Oh, that brings back memories. I still want the next act of that mod.
Thank you for understanding. Mutual trust is the basis for good communication. Now that we've got that out of the way, I think we can have a more productive conversation. To be perfectly honest, your commission request has been the most peculiar one I've ever received. Even now, I still know nothing about the building's intended purpose. All I know is that you want to build something in the desert for public use. I am aware that overly specific requests will restrain the architect's artistic freedom. However, knowing nothing about the intended purpose of the building also means I have no idea if I'm on the right track.
That'd be the one.
I've produced several draft proposals for you to choose from, and you've rejected every single one. If we don't get on the same page, it could be a decade before we can finally break ground on this project.
Yes, I've given this some thought already. I think we can go with the general direction of the latest proposal that you just showed me. It's just...
Just what?
Elaborate.
Putting the building design aside, can we get some less expensive materials for the floor tiles? Yeah, I know someone in the business, and the red bricks he sells can go for pretty cheap. The timber here as well. We should be able to find some substitutes.
Alright, so budget constraints. Understood.
Please give me a moment. My head's starting to hurt again.
Probably because you're drunk.
Please hold on for a second. So, let me get this straight. You want to reduce the cost of the project, right? But if we implement your suggestions, then I'm afraid we have to scrap the entire design.
Damn.
Architectural design cannot be neatly split into discrete parts. Any change to one part of the design will affect the quality of the whole thing. I decided to utilize high-end timber for this section because the weight-bearing structure requires the supporting materials to be durable and strong. Same with the tiles.
Alright, so 7th draft it is then.
More importantly,
design it again from scratch.
Both its practical functionality and aesthetic value will take a great hit. If all you need is a building with a roof that can keep people dry in the rain, you shouldn't have commissioned me. Many architects would be able to build you one of those while charging far less in commission fees.
Actually, Please tell me, Are you absolutely sure that there's no room for any changes in this draft of the design?
Is it all just about the budget and nothing else?
I think the most important thing for me is to understand what you would actually like to get. If you could tell me more about your vision,
He doesn't
might be
have a
able to
vision.
work with the
You
design
are the
some
vision
more.
bearer.
You are the client, after all. You should have the final say on how the project turns out.
I want to build something unique. Something quiet and warm inside. A refuge that can block out the world outside. I want all who enter this building to be able to temporarily forget everything that's going on outside of the building and just focus on their task at hand.
Alright.
That's a bit more information than last time, but it's still extremely vague.
I sadly do understand the
To put it
meaning of
another
the
way,
quote.
Every rich person who wants to build a mansion for themselves would request something like this. We've gone through many proposals, and this draft is already the cheapest one. Cutting costs by substituting building materials will not only detract from the overall effect of the building, it also won't save you much more in the grand scheme of things.
Well,
Thank
damn.
you for giving it so much
So he
thought.
wants a library, essentially.
Please give me some more time to mull over the
Well, he
budget.
never said there should be books
I'll
in
get
there.
back to you once I've figured out a solution.
A library, but without the books.
I still have a few business meetings that I must attend, so I'm afraid I'll have to leave for now. You can just leave the proposal as is. I'll get in touch once I've given it some more thought.
Oh, the playlist expanded again. I'll have to check that at some point. Why do I feel like he's hiding something?
I also have a similar feeling.
Should we follow him and see if anything unusual comes up?
Is that really okay? I mean, what he does now is none of our business.
Sadly, the music command only works when the playlist is actually set up. I am very sorry.
He does seem really suspicious, though. He dresses like a rich person, but when you talk to him, he hardly sounds the part.
He sounds super frugal too. Yeah.
That's actually pretty common. Not all rich people are spendthrifts. Many are just, as if not more, stingy than him. The more mora some people have, the more they love interfering with people's lives. Like constantly
there's the
reminding you to
playlist.
pay back your debts, or hinting every other day that it's time for you to pay rent. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not even sure this person really wants to work on this project with me. Putting his vague requests aside, he's still finding excuses to procrastinate even when we've decided on a plan.
I guess he really just doesn't have the money?
Who knows how long construction will take if he keeps delaying things like this?
Has a lot of
We
views.
should find him again and get
Nice.
some clearer answers. The sooner we can break ground on this, the better.
Alright, time to follow the client. I'm sure a Chuny walking around following someone is not going to be suspicious at all. We're very sneaky.
Huh? Where did he go? I could have sworn he went this way. Let's keep looking.
Right. Well, it could have gone anywhere. Could have gone left, could have gone right. Feels like this could be a split decision. Okay, but no,
hey,
no
look.
clue where he is. Okay.
Isn't that Badawi? It sure looks like him, but he's dressed completely different now. What is he up to?
Didn't I tell you before? I'm not looking for more workers. Plus, aren't you a bit old for physical labor? If something happens to you, I
Huh.
won't be able to pay for it.
Oh, you won't have to worry about that. I grew up as an Aramite mercenary and worked in the desert my entire
So he is
life.
impersonating
My body's still in great
people
shape.
of different status or something? I don't know.
I don't have many talents, but I still have my muscle.
Rob, how about
If
both?
you need someone to unload goods or drive away sumpter beasts, I'm your man.
You used to be an Aramite mercenary?
I know there are a lot of bad apples in our ranks, but most are just trying to make a living. We're not that greedy by nature, and we'll do our best when given a job.
Let me think. I'm I'm sorry.
Don't
but
think.
I still can't
Turn
take
him
you on.
away.
I don't have any open positions right now, and don't have the Mora for anything more.
Bad apple.
How about this?
Oh my
Why don't you
god.
try luck somewhere else?
Okay.
He used to be a member of the Eremites?
When pulls.
Huh.
Ah.
He was dressed.
Maybe
I
after
thought
this
he was
next,
a merchant
maybe
from
after we get the next
rainforest.
ending. I feel like that would be
Let's
good.
ask him about it.
Thoughts? Thoughts? Hello.
We meet again.
Don't make me fall in the middle of a story.
Why are you guys here?
That's what we wanted to ask you. Who are you? Why did you dress up like a merchant
Sleep
to talk to me
time.
about our project?
Uh,
There's no need for us to continue this project if you still want to keep hiding things from us. I don't work with individuals I can't trust.
Believe me.
There you
I
go.
didn't have any bad intentions. It's just... All right. There's no
Please show
point
me your
hiding
primos.
anything anymore.
Stardust, golden
The
stardust.
building I'm trying to
pearls,
commission you
the
for
numbers
is
on the
not
back and pity.
really a personal
The
residence
numbers
for
on the
me,
back. Of
but
course.
rather a library for children living in the desert.
Pity, I can tell you, it should be at 60. Technically above 60. Because it, again, my poll history was reset. Like, my wish history was emptied out because I haven't wished in so long. And I have made 60 wishes since the list was empty. So yeah. Right, indeed. Alright, yeah.
A library?
You did call
Funded
it, that's
entirely
true.
by yourself. Shouldn't this be the responsibility of the academia? I've heard that the academia will be looking to prioritize the desert with the allocation of educational resources and materials. It sent over a large shipment of regular goods just last month.
You're right. And I was aware of these happenings as well. I just figured what I want to do is a separate effort from what's already being done by the academia.
Yeah, because screw the academia.
The desert is
I
too
agree.
vast. Even if the academia spends a lot of effort trying to disseminate knowledge in those parts, it might still take decades, if not centuries, to reduce the educational gap that already exists between the two regions. And what's more, I don't know if the academia would ever reverse its stance in the
Damage
future.
binner. Yeah, I know the quote.
All I know is that as a desert dweller, we should not wait passively for good things to happen to us. If we only did that, we'd never be able to stand up and hold our heads high. I don't have much
And of
longer
course, my
left
first
on
quote
this
was
world,
about the dong.
so I just want to use whatever time I have to contribute something to my homeland.
Why didn't you just tell us that from the start, you idiot?
I didn't want you to know that I came from the desert. I've lived in the desert my entire life, and there wasn't anyone here that I could trust. I figured I needed as much safety as I could get.
To the point that you even disguised your identity? That's certainly taking playing it safe to the next level.
But dong in a really
Hold
good
on.
horror game.
Don't tell me you've also been scammed
It was a
before.
fun one, I have to admit.
When I first came to Sumeru City, I brought a lot of Mora, hoping to find an architect that I could work with. Someone agreed to take on the project, and even took a sum of Mora from me, but then disappeared without a trace.
Ah, goddamn scammers. Was it a Nigerian prince by any chance?
After that, I heard that there are a lot of untrustworthy people in this business. Some would run as soon as they've been paid, while others would deliberately use expensive materials and take a cut of the construction funding. I spent a while collecting information in the city, and eventually learned that you're the most famous architect in all of Sumeru.
Would that he
I
be?
figured that you wouldn't need to make Mora by scamming people, so I decided to reach out to you. By the way, how did you know I was scammed? I don't think I've ever mentioned that to anybody.
Just a hunch. A
Damn.
while ago, I accepted
That
an
common,
offer
huh?
to work on a project in the desert, and was also scammed out of a large sum of Mora. I ran into someone who was living in a pretty run-down house. I noticed a load-bearing wall on the verge of collapse, and suggested that I build a new house for him. He said that he had no way to pay for it, so I loaned him some of my own Mora, and told him to get some stone and timber
God,
from the local vendors.
Kaveh.
Soon after that, I found out that he had gone gambling with all the money and lost everything, down to the last coin. And after that, he even borrowed Mora from me twice more, using a different excuse each time.
And you still gave it to
I didn't
him.
even suspect him of any wrongdoing until he hired a group of mercenaries and tried to ambush me in his own house. According to him, I looked like an easy target because I was an academia scholar who didn't have any family or friends in the desert.
Alright.
What kind of person would just look at someone else and think, this guy looks like an easy target?
Let me correct you, Kaveh. Let me rephrase that. What kind of idiot would look at someone who has a vision and say, this guy looks like an easy target?
Those kinds of things do happen every once in a while, yes. Folks like him are the exact reason why us desert dwellers' reputation have gone down the drain. I must apologize to
Again,
you.
they thought he would be easy, an easy target, even though he had a vision? How dumb can you be?
It's alright. You were also scammed by someone from Kasharwar after all. I should apologize to you on their behalf. Ultimately, neither of our experiences had anything to do with the desert or the rainforest. People who are new to an area are always easy targets for criminals.
Bad people are everywhere.
Yeah, you'll find both good and bad people everywhere. I can't understand the logic of those who like to take advantage of others, but I have to accept their existence as a fact of life. Anyway, I digress. Let's return to the topic at hand.
Yes, indeed.
Did you keep rejecting my designs because you thought I was deliberately using expensive materials to take a cut as a middleman?
That's what I was afraid of initially, yes.
I mean,
eventually understood
if he was
that
cheating
you
people
weren't
out of
out
money,
to
would he
cheat
really
me.
be the most famous person
But
here in terms of
unfortunately,
architecture?
I still don't have nearly enough Mora to pay for the design you proposed. I've done the math and know that we should be able to make it if we cut some corners. However, after our conversations, I can see that you're passionate about your design, and I'm quite fond of the proposal as well.
Kaveh, how expensive are those materials? Because I have a lot of money.
So, I decided to try and see if I can afford your proposal as is. I've been looking for work every day, and in another month, I should be able to cobble together enough Mora to meet the budget.
By cobble together, you mean you're going to spend your entire life savings on this project?
Again,
But then,
I can easily cough
what
up
will
a
you do
million
if
more
something
off.
unexpected comes
No
up,
problem.
and you find yourself
Would that
stuck
help?
with no emergency fund?
To be honest, I haven't really thought about that. I mean, when you've lived to be my age and something happens, you can't really call it unexpected anymore. All I want is to build this library before I leave this world, so that the children of the future would have some books to read, and the desert dwellers would be able to learn their letters and pick up some practical knowledge.
You seem really passionate about this project.
A while ago, I heard that the academia had decided to recruit a number of exceptional children from the desert. Of course, this is welcomed news. But as someone who spent their entire life in the desert, I still have a few concerns.
I mean, fair,
I know
I
the
guess.
desert life and can predict what the problems will be. Many children from the desert have had neither the interest nor the proper environment to learn. So even if the academia would take them in,
So it's better if
once they
someone
enter the
from the
halls,
desert takes
they
them
might
in,
find
huh?
themselves surrounded by other children who look and act very differently from them.
Yeah.
And as a result, they might become socially isolated.
Yes, I can imagine that. My father passed away at an early age. Even though I had a good number of friends during my years at the academia, for some time I still sensed many critical looks in my direction.
Oh, all those critical looks came from Al-Haytham, by the way.
A child coming all the way from
I'm
the
sure.
desert will have an even harder time. But let's bring this back to the building itself. I think you said that you want this building to be quiet and warm, with its doors serving as a solid barrier to block out the sound and fury outside, and allow one to focus on the book in their hands.
Would the place need to be warm, though? I mean, it's in the desert.
Building
It would need to be
according the
pleasantly
current plan
cool,
will
I
be
think.
quite costly. Even if I don't charge you any commission fees, I don't think we'd be able to keep it under your budget. Any ideas on what we can do?
I have money! Can we try a slightly different style? Would any other merchants be willing to sponsor the project?
Sponsor the project? You mean convince wealthy merchants to join our cause?
Also, this feels
and
like
pool their
another
money
split
together
point
to
in the
build
story,
library?
where it goes into two different endings again.
That does make sense. A library is a big project, and it's going to be hard to fund it with just a single person's Mora.
Also, you need to be able to afford all the books as well.
What do you think? If we can find others to sponsor the project, we could potentially increase the size of the building 2- or 3-fold.
It's all fine with me, but where do you think we'll be able to find these sponsors?
Well, you're right. If I really think about it, I'm not too familiar with many big-name merchants.
Carry our story.
Her? Hard pass.
Oh,
With her
come
shrewd and
on.
greedy personality, she would never put Mora into something like this.
Maybe she can connect us with some of her contacts.
Now there's an idea.
Hard.
She probably won't say no
Hard
if all she'll
smash.
need to do is to make some introductions.
Very different
instead of
opinions, I
spending
see.
Mora. Let's go and pay her a visit.
Alright, the Palace of Alcazar. Let's go. It's time to pay Dory a visit. Only for her to connect us with some NPC merchants. Sad. Vampire will get replaced with a lamp? What? Lamps are always superior.
When I saw Kaveh, I almost thought it must be that time of month again. Sadly for me, I must wait a few
By the
more
way, I
days
just
before
realized
can
something.
collect my shiny Mora.
Has Paimon ever been in a hangout? I think Paimon never shows up during hangout quests, does she? I don't remember, at least, if she ever showed up. That is interesting. Can't believe I just now noticed that.
Hey, can't you think of something else for a change? You are literally living in an objet d'art, and yet your mind is still fixated on nothing but Mora? What is the point
Doesn't
of
show up
wealth
during
anyway?
Hangout.
Is your happiness
Damn,
entirely
nobody wants to
dependent
hang
on
out
your
with
bored, cold,
Paimon.
emotionless Mora?
She's sadly required for this story, but nobody wants to voluntarily hang out with her. Superior.
That's exactly right. Mora is extremely valuable, you see. If you don't keep your mind on it, your Mora may just find its way to somebody else's pockets. If you ask
That's
me,
so,
this place
huh?
is still way too empty. Just give me some time and I'll fill it to the brim with lots and lots of Mora.
Stuff so many people hate. I don't know, you tell me.
You're hopeless.
Let's get back to why we're here.
Oh, so you have an actual reason to visit me? All right, let's hear it.
We would like to ask for your help in introducing us to some merchants.
Merchants?
Why is she
Why?
9?
Is
Excuse
there
me, she's
some kind of
actually
business
she's
opportunity?
actually an old lady. No, seriously, how old is Dory actually? I know she's on the black. I know
Let's see.
she's
So you're
a
just
merchant on the
looking for
black
someone who
market.
fit the bill.
She is small, as far as I heard. Dory is 16. Okay, 16 and already like the most prominent face on the black market. How does one do it at that age?
I knew you wouldn't be interested in something like this. Still, you wouldn't refuse just making some introductions for us, would you?
Sure, I can connect you with some
I don't know, be Dory.
With every service comes a fee, you
Yeah,
know.
she 9. Damn.
A fee? You mean just for introductions?
Of course! Making introductions means using my connections and putting my reputation on the line. Why wouldn't I charge a fee for something so important?
It is a funny thing how Natsuki is actually 18. I mean, it's really not funny. We know it's because she's malnourished, but you know what I
Since
mean.
we've known each other for so long, though, I'll give you a huge returning customer discount. How about 500,000 mora?
I can afford that.
500,000? I guess that's okay. But why are you charging a fee before we've even secured any funding? That just doesn't seem right. Besides, by helping us out, you'd be doing a great service to the public. Can't you take your mind off your mora even for just 1 second?
No, she
and
can't.
Focus on something far more important.
Mora is literally in her characterization.
Very well.
Never mind then, I guess she can.
Passionate about this project? I'll help you out and waive the introduction fees. 3 of my business partners came by earlier today to discuss some things with me, and they still haven't left yet. I'll arrange a meeting for you.
The game says, but I don't believe it.
It'll be up to you to present.
Well, for one, all the characters do have to be around the same age, because I'm pretty sure they said they're all in the same grade, right? Pretty sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You can wait here.
Oh.
I'll bring them over to you.
That was just the first heart? Oh no, this will take a while.
Let me think. Where did I put the delivery checklist?
Dory gave us a brief introduction about the two of you. You are Kaveh, the renowned architect, and you are the traveler.
The game said
that has heard of you by now.
The game said her small figure makes her look like a first year. In fact, that was a line they changed. Because originally in the game, the main character said, oh yeah, her figure makes me think she probably is a first year. And so they changed it in the Plus version to, it makes her look like a first year, because too many people were convinced she actually was one. So yeah. So title as Zhongli or Burst. I shall also use elemental bursts.
To be frank, I don't feel like there's an obvious business opportunity here. But since Dory took the time to introduce you, we can spend some time to have a conversation. So, let's hear your idea.
All right, here's the situation. I've been commissioned to build a library in the desert, with the intended goal of allowing the desert dwellers to have more access to reading materials.
So it's a public welfare project?
Yes.
Correct.
Then the commission fees will likely be very low. You should be careful.
I'm not too concerned about how much I'll get for the commission fees, actually. I'm fine with doing it for free.
Whoa, Kaveh!
As soon as possible. We're just a little short on
Look
funding.
at that!
So what?
Doing it
You
for
can't
free?
Possibly expect that we just cover the shortfall for you. Besides, what does a library in the desert have to do with us? If you want to build it yourself with your own mora. Seems simple enough to me.
Hey, there's no need to be so harsh. They are Dory's associates after all. Here, can you tell us a bit more about what we can gain from sponsoring this project?
You can get Kaveh's client to advertise your businesses in the desert.
So we'd mostly be doing it for reputation and exposure?
Yes, work for exposure.
There is some value to that. It could make doing business in the desert a bit easier.
Guys, we're getting the funding and we're paying them in exposure. This is exactly what everyone always needs.
Well, just speaking for myself, I've got nothing in the desert.
I also have a concern. It feels like there's not much to profit from in the short term. But in the long term, the reputation gain also doesn't sound like it'd offset the cost of the sponsorship.
Then how about this? What if, instead of building a single library, we commit to an entire complex of buildings dedicated to culture and education?
Or make it real big then. That's gonna be even more expensive though.
Wouldn't that just cost more?
Yes, but in that case... Mr. Kaveh, please tell us what you have in mind.
I'll just give an example. If we were
Okay.
to build a library and a school near Aru village, then the desert dwellers would gradually begin to migrate towards the area. A whole suite of buildings will be able to host more traffic, and thus drive the economic development of the entire area. In turn, that would lead to direct business opportunities.
And you could be the first people to establish businesses there, is I'm guessing what his offer is gonna be?
I've been to the desert several
Maybe.
times. Although there are still many lingering tensions between the two regions, the amount of interaction has been steadily increasing, and in the long term, the desert will only become more and more important to Sumeru.
You do have a point.
So is that a yes?
Education in the desert is indeed an industry that has not been tapped into. If we can be the first to place stakes in the area.
And you just believe anything he tells you?
He's Kaveh, he has a vision. You don't. You better listen to him.
Even the greenest amateurs know that urban planning will affect population flow. If you don't believe me, you can ask anyone on the street to confirm it to you.
Oh, wouldn't you like to know my height?
You.
I actually haven't measured my height in a while, I don't remember. You don't seem to think about your questions thoroughly before speaking. Damn. Please only ask questions that are relevant to the discussion.
Wait, something just occurred to me. If we're going to build a library in the desert, Aru Village would obviously be the best place for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems we're not the only ones with our eyes on the village. I heard a rumor a while back saying a lot of land and buildings in Aru Village have already been secretly purchased by a big-name merchant.
What?
What?
In other words, if we try to
What?
join the fray
Indeed.
now, there won't be much left for us.
Is it Dory?
If we want to build a suite of buildings focused on education and culture, Aru Village is the prime location. If we want to build it anywhere else, we'll have to deal with a far larger list of problems. It's not impossible, I suppose, but...
Then there's no hurry. We can wait for Aru Village to develop more first and get into the market for expansion to other areas.
But if you were to do that...
Then we would get the funding.
Is there nothing else to discuss? Great timing! I pretty much heard all I want to hear. If there are no other urgent matters, I'll be on my way.
I'll be off as well. If you have
Damn.
any new ideas, please feel free to reach out.
This did not work out at
It
all.
seems like the others are not interested in funding this, so no point in me doing this on my own. Let's revisit this another time.
Hey, guys, wait!
Well, that's a bust. Let me guess the heart's gonna disappear again.
Well, what can
No?
I say?
I guess it's
it went
staying.
somewhat as expected. They are Dory's friends, after all. As soon as they heard that there's not much more in this for them, they lost all interest.
That's just business, I guess.
Yeah, it's just another day doing business with people. But I can never get used to that. Those people never think of anyone other than themselves. Looks like we'll have to figure out some other way to get the funding. Let's go.
Alright. Let's see how else we can get the funding. Alright, Dory, are you the person who purchased all the land? Is that it?
Where did all that passion go from earlier, I take it you weren't able to find a sponsor for your project?
Let me guess. Because we begged you to give us the, because we begged you for your connections for free, you gave us shitty connections. Is that it?
Please don't tell me that you're here to mock us.
What kind of person do you take me for? Would the kind and generous Lord Sakuma Bay really do such a thing? I will say, though, I more or less expected this outcome even before I introduced them to you.
Then why?
Try to talk up the project all you want, but the facts will remain the same. This project is high investment with slow returns. No sane person would put their money into this.
But this isn't just a business project, right?
It's for the people.
Also, if you already knew no one would want to partner with us, why did you still try to charge me 500,000 mora? You scammer!
I mean, it's Dory, that's why.
You might want to remember who your creditor is before you start talking like that, Kaveh.
I'll pay back every last coin that I still owe you, but that's a completely different matter.
How much do you owe, though?
Alright, since you're so devastated about this, I'll set you up for dinner with another big-name merchant. In fact, I'll be inviting the most famous merchant in all of Sumeru.
Yourself?
So I'll be counting on your performance.
Oh no.
What? Really? I would like to sincerely apologize for my attitude just now.
Look who's brown-nosing all of a sudden.
Where would we be meeting this merchant?
Follow me. Oh, I suppose both of you can come.
Alright.
I just wish that some people would actually do their jobs.
Damn. Imagine if some people would actually do their jobs. Wouldn't that be crazy? Right over here, huh? So who are we about to meet? Someone we would know. Why did it switch to Klee? I thought Klee was dead.
This is the place.
Wait, my Klee was dead. How did it switch to Klee? Something weird is going on here.
You said you're going
Ghost.
to introduce us to the most famous
Ghost
merchant in
children.
Sumeru. Well, where are they?
Assassinate the child. I guess we shall do that.
Famous merchant in Sumeru.
It's Lord Zangimabe. I had a feeling. I already said, isn't it gonna be you? I was more so joking, but I guess it actually is her.
Huh? So you meant yourself all along? Then why did you bring us here?
Well,
Atmosphere.
I've given it some thought, and that complex of education and culture buildings that you mentioned does hold some promise. It'll be a pretty big Mora sink, and I'll have to fund it all on my own, but that's not really a problem for me.
Seriously? Where's this generosity coming from so suddenly?
She wants all the profits,
Trying to
though.
scam me again.
Is that it? She'll help, but she wants all the profits.
The reasons are not important. What's important is that I'm willing to help you. However, you know just as well as me that once this project actually breaks ground, it'll start sucking Mora from my pockets like crazy. So, to cut costs...
I get it, I get it. I won't charge any commission fees.
There you go,
and
he'll
I'll take
work for free.
responsibility for the entire project.
Splendid! Then let's sign the contract right away.
You already have a contract prepared? Oh, she prepares 2 contracts. After brief, yeah, she signs. Of course he signs.
This way, the children of the desert will have some books to read. Their lives should improve a bit after this.
You seem rather pleased.
Of course, there are a few things better than using my knowledge to help other people change their fates. I must thank you as well, Dory. I used to say you only cared about Mora, which might have been some prejudice on my part.
No, Mora
Sorry
is
for
still
that.
the main thing she cares
I will
about.
also try to pay back my debts as soon as possible.
How do you read the contract first? Nope. Too late. He already signed it.
Now, let's have a quick discussion. Where would you want the library to be built? That will be the most important building.
Let me guess. The contract is he will work for free. He will take all responsibility for the project, but everything will belong to Dory once it's done. It all belongs to her, but he has to shoulder the responsibility for the entire project when it's getting built. That is my guess.
There's no rush. I'll provide you with a copy of the deed when we get back. You can just use the address on the document to find the lot.
Huh? The deed?
You don't mean...
So hold on a sec. The person who has been buying up everything
Again,
around Aru Village
another
was
thing I
you
called.
all along?
Yep.
Oh my, did I not tell you about that? Yep, yours truly has been buying up all the land. I must thank you for bringing your ideas to me. Before our conversation, I had no idea what to build on all those lots. So, for
Well, damn.
this has been a great turn of events.
Profits,
I
huh?
put much in and easily got a lot in return.
But what about my commission fees?
Huh? Didn't you waive those yourself? I was just gonna say that to cut costs. We mustn't procrastinate and should start construction as soon as possible. But before I can finish the sentence, you volunteered to waive your commission fees and even promised to take responsibility for the whole project from start to
Yeah, oh no.
finish. So touched, really.
Dory totally didn't plan this at all. No, how could she possibly have planned this? She would not. She totally wouldn't do that.
It's obvious that you used every trick in the book to deceive me. You deliberately paused for a long time while talking about the project and kept glancing at me with that menacing look in your eyes.
Yep.
Huh? You really think so? Well, the contract's already been signed, so
Yep.
there's no point in dwelling on the details. You know what?
Can't be
I'll leave for
unsigned.
dinner.
It's legally binding now, Kaveh. No backing out.
Fine, I'll drop the argument on the commission fees. But since you said you're paying for dinner, I'm going to order the best dishes and booze this place has to offer, and lots of it. Tonight, we're feasting until I've recouped my full commission fees.
Okay then. I guess that's happening now, and that's the ending. A done deal. Wait a minute. I have to recoup my fees. Oh my god, they actually revived all my characters for some reason.
Totoko, where are you?
Alright, I did say I would do it. First things first, I think I can get a few more primos out of this. There we go. Alright then. It's time. I did say after that ending we will do the wishes. I'll start off by doing the 40 standard banner pulls that I can afford. Starting slow, you know. Let's start off slowly, and then we'll get to the into the big leagues. All right. Again, no character. The stringless. It clearly has a string, though. That's 2 10 pulls I've done today that did not include a single character. The commission fees. Just munch your way to victory. You know what? That is a fair point. Again, you don't know how expensive the most expensive alcohol they have is. And I know that some wines can get very expensive. Yanfei, okay. Stringers on my collie. Maybe I should too. Alright. At least I finally got a character. Again. I'm head out. Alright. See you around, see you around. Wish me good luck for the wishing session. Hey Zo, welcome to the team. Except not. Alright, one more 10 pull on standard banner. Alright, no 5 stars yet. Golly! Alright. And here comes Zhongli. Damn it. Would have been nice, would have been nice. From an A! You know what? New character. Why not? Got a new character. That is definitely something. Alright. What are we here for, baby? Alright, Zhongli, come on. Okay. I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't know if I'm currently on the 50-50 or guaranteed event banner character. I think I might be on the 50-50. Come on. Yes! First Zhongli of the night. I need 2 more. I need 2 more. I'll get him soon. I hope so too. He's such a good character. I didn't have Sayu yet. Wow. I guess I didn't have her yet. But now I have her. Missed all pulls. Alright, Spinner, I'll tell you what happened. I did 40 standard banner pulls. 40 standard banner pulls. And 20 event banner pulls. Well, 30 if you count the 10 I did earlier on. So yeah, that's the second 10 pull I did right now while starting. Be able to do... Hey! Spinne, I repeatedly said, after we get this ending of the Hangout, I will do the pulls. And we got the ending, so I'm doing the pulls. I gave plenty of warning that it would be happening soon. Anyway, that's the first one we got, so now I only need 2 more. I need 2 more Zhonglis. You can see my primos up there. That's literally all I can do. I already did the monthly Stardust exchange. I already did these. As you can see, already exchanged. So the primos are all that matters. Alright. Let's see how lucky I can get. Not lucky enough to get another Zhongli immediately after Pity. Would have been amazing though. Imagine I got the second one right there. Hazo again. Whew, slowly decreasing the number of primos. I've saved them. Oh my god, already! Okay, now this is a 50-50. But we already got the next 5-star. I think this is the luckiest I've ever gotten. I don't think I've ever gotten a 5-star this early after Pity. Ah, it's Jean. But you know what that means? Again, next 5-star will be Zhongli again. Plus, having another Jean isn't too bad. I mean, I use Jean on my team anyway. So it doesn't hurt to level up her constellation a bit, I guess. Okay. So I need 2 more Zhonglis, and the next 5-star I get is guaranteed to be Zhongli. I like my chances. Let's go again. But to this day, I have still yet to get the luck of having 2 5-star characters in a single 10 pull. I know people have had that happen to them. I have not been that lucky yet. Who knows, maybe today will be the day that I get lucky and get 2 5-star characters in a single 10 pull. One can hope, one can hope. It is unlikely, but one can hope. Again. Just weapons, just weapons. And another Sayu. And to think, before today's stream I didn't have Sayu at all. Now I'm really leveling her constellation, huh? Again! Want Nouvelette? I mean, that's fair. A lot of people want Nouvelette. Which is fair. I mean, again, good character so far. Alright, not a single character this time. I might do a few pulls for Nouvelette. I don't see a reason why not to. If I get C6 Zhongli today, I have no reason not to pull for Nouvelette. Okay? No reason not to pull for him. All that I need is to get Zhongli up to C6. It's interesting how everyone's leaving now. I would have thought that wishing would be entertaining for people. Isn't it entertaining to laugh at people for getting bad luck? I thought it would be. But I guess Kaveh is just more entertaining. More entertaining than I could ever be. Another Sayu. Ha 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 ha, or something. Alright. Is it Zhongli time again? Nope, not yet. It ain't Zhongli time yet. Come on. Pretty ill on. Yeah, it sucks to suck, but what can you do? Nothing, that's what. Damn it, I should be getting close to pity at this point, right? I think next 10 pull might be it. I don't know, I haven't been counting. It's either the next 10 pull or the one after that. Why I hit pity again. Let's see. Is it time yet? Yeah, I think this is hard pity. I think this is hard pity. Well, there he is! Okay, I need one more Zhongli. I need one more Zhongli. And I think I should be able to afford one more Zhongli easily. Let's see. 160 for a 10... No, 1,600. 10 times? Yeah, I can get to hard pity twice. I can afford to get to hard pity twice, I think. We should be good. We should be good to get C6. I have C5 now, yes. The free-to-play player who maxes out Zhongli's constellation. That is me. I have no reason not to be a Zhongli main. Zhongli, come home! Come on, Zhongli! Please, Zhongli! I need you, Zhongli! Don't make me lose the 50-50. I would be very grateful if I don't lose the 50-50. Save some extra primos, you know? Because why not? Get an early 5-star and win the 50-50. That is the plan. Don't go to hard pity. No reason to go to hard pity. That is the first Noelle I've gotten since I started wishing today. Damn. And she's one of the featured characters on the banner, right? Do you think it took me this long to get a Noelle? Unbelievable. I mean, I already have her maxed out, so it's not like it mattered, but still, I think it's funny how long it took for her to show up. I got 2 Zhonglis by the time the first Noelle showed up. And Noelle is like the poor man's Zhongli, essentially. Alright, saw you. And have Zhongli. Well, damn. Zhongli is poor. Sadly, yes. Morax is very poor. Morax does not have any Mora on him anymore. It do be funny how that works out. Because he didn't think ahead to give himself some reserve funds. Zhongli and Zhongli's wallet, yup. Alright. 5-star. Damn it. Can't get lucky, not this time. Okay, now Noelle starts showing up like crazy. I was just talking about how she didn't show up until now. And she was like, well, damn, you want more of me? Why didn't you say so earlier? And now she's just not stopping anymore. But I want Zhongli, and he's gonna show up now. Yes. Don't lose the 50-50. Come on, Zhongli. Come on, Zhongli. Come on. God! You know what? No. There might be another. There might be another 5-star. Maybe this is my first double 5-star. Can't be that lucky. Of course I can't be that lucky. It's fine. I have enough to hit Hard Pity again. If it comes down to it, I can hit Hard Pity again. I hope I don't have to hit Hard Pity again, but I'll try my best. Also, hello Taku! Welcome to the stream! I am currently doing a massive free-to-play wishing session in order to max out Zhongli's constellation. I only need one more Zhongli and I have enough to hit Hard Pity again after just losing the 50-50. I can do this. I can get C6 Zhongli. On this entirely free-to-play account, by the way. This is happening. I saved up so long for this. I assume you're a Genshin Impact player too. Any character you're saving up for right now? Chat gets hurt by your quotes. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine the quotes. But more than anything, imagine Zhongli shows up now. Imagine Zhongli shows up now. Don't make me push to Hard Pity. Zhongli can show up early, right? Please. Please. Fremine again, okay. Come on, come on, Zhongli! Damn it! Come on, I want to have some primos left over. I know I can definitely get Zhongli again, but I don't want to use up all my reserves. I already used up most of it. How much did I use up? Like 2/3 of my wishes. 2/3 of the wishes I could afford. All used in one day. I don't need Noelle, I need Zhongli. Noelle is the wrong Geo Shield character. I need the better Geo Shield character. That's still not Zhongli. It's Noelle again, god damn it. By the way, before I started the stream, I did not have Sayu at all. I did not have her whatsoever. And now I have her constellation. I not only have Sayu now, but I maxed out her constellation too. Went from not having her to maxing out her constellation. Creative mode could... I mean, it is fair, he does turn into a healer on top of his shield. Which is pretty nice. There he is! C6 Zhongli. Let's go, got him. I will have... It's not like Zhongli wasn't OP enough already. He was already super broken. But now... Oh, he's even more broken. I will let the meteor back at you. Hey, it's not like his healing is too intense, I think. I don't know, I haven't tested it yet because I did not have C6 Zhongli until right now. Zhongli! It is done. I have obtained ultimate power. First things first, I obtained another gene, so why not? Speed increase isn't too shabby. But now for the main part. Planet Befall's AoE increased and longer petrification. Yes. Raise the level of Planet Befall by 3. Yes. And finally, also, love the Zhongdong emote. We stand the Zhongdong here. And there it is. Takes damage, 40% of that damage is converted to HP. It is done. Now the only thing I still need is to actually get good artifacts for him. I need to get, what was it, the Millilith artifact set for him to actually make him really good. So I'll have to try grinding for that at some point. As for his weapon, I think Staff of Omar is good. I know it's Hu Tao's weapon, but I've been told it works really, really well on Zhongli as well. So I'm gonna stick with it. Alright, who else can I work with for Constellation now? Trump card, increase elemental mastery, sure. And Trump card kitty, level increase, yes. Code, and for Hu Tao so hard I get her C6. Up to you, if you really want her C6, go for it. I also obtain you from a 50-50. Charge attack crit rate is increased, I guess. Hazo, I can max you out. Increase level. And version stack will increase the crit rate. Yes. Increased crit rate sounds good. In terms of probably 5 stars in general. They have a good 5-star weapons. I mean, fair. Okay, Sayu. I obtained Sayu today. Let's see her constellations. Will ignore HP limits and simultaneously attack opponents and heal. Okay. Gains following effects. Will kick press mode increased by 3.3%. State will increase damage. Sounds good. Shield and stay AFK for the whole day. And you know what? It would probably work. Again, his shield is so powerful already. I am frightened of how strong he'll be now. Increase level. Recovers energy. Yes. Increase level. Will now also benefit from her elemental mastery. Each point following effects increase damage dealt. Yes, give. Because he works best with the Hu Tao team. No need for healing. But I think C2 Zhongli is definitely what you want to get to. At least if you want to play co-op. So you can give other people a shield too. Like C2 Zhongli is the constellation level you want the most. Increase crit rate. Yup. Leashing will restore 2 energy. Okay. Also, hello Tormuse. How goes it? It's going great. I was doing a lot of wishes and I finally have maxed out my Zhongli's constellations. Hang on. Increase attack level by 3. Yup. And his attack will be increased. Yes. But yeah, I have been doing a lot of wishing today. And my favorite character finally has all of his constellations unlocked now. How many wishes did I do today? Might be around 300. Somewhere along those lines, probably. Whatever that means. Basically means each constellation level means I had to get a duplicate of the character. So I had to get the character and then 6 duplicates, while I already had up to 3. So I only need to get the character 3 more times. And the chance to get Zhongli on the banner is... How high is the chance for a 5-star normally? Less than 1%, I think. But yeah, I had to get 3 of him today. And I got it. Took me a lot of grinding to afford this. But I even have some left over. I have wishes left over, which is nice. Which I guess I will save for Nouvelette now. For whenever Nouvelette comes around. But as if my Zhongli wasn't strong enough, he can now also heal my team. I have to try it out, you know. I have to try it out. I have to encounter some kind of enemy. Doesn't matter what enemy. I want to see that the healing works. You know what I need to get rid of? You know what? Let's do a weekly boss. Try strongly. Oh, I will. Which one to do? You know what? You know what? I'll do the most annoying one. I think... Yeah, I think this is the most annoying weekly boss to fight. Let's go. And I'll do it single player, of course. Because if you do it multiplayer, there are some people who have the habit of just completely removing the temperature thingies. I won't even heal. I'll just go in like this. I am confident. But yeah, there are some people who just keep removing the temperature thingies, and then everyone dies because of the abnormal temperature.
You're trembling. Is it the cold or just cowardice?
Okay, let's do this. So, go on, attack me. I should heal from that now. Yes, I am healing! I am healing from getting attacked! Let's go! Naturally, the cold still goes through the shield, which is annoying. Haha!
Wings of darkness.
No rest for the... Stabilize.
Let me just stand over here real quick. Okay, we're already in the transition phase. Let's go.
Solidify.
Reset the shield. You know what? Feel free to attack me.
Stabilize.
I just heal from it. Okay, his healing isn't that powerful, but still, just the fact that I heal from getting attacked now. You know what? I'll even let the cutscene play out, because I feel like it. Alright, final phase. By the way, Tormuse, how's Club Meeting Season 3 going? I'm kind of avoiding the streams because I want to dive in myself when the collection comes out. But I assume you're having fun with it. I assume it's good. Ooh, Planet Befall. I can use it now. Should be even stronger. Well, not too much stronger though, apparently.
Dance, my pretties.
Alright.
Not every wound will heal.
Again, this fight is just the most tedious in my opinion. I will have immortality. Yes. If only the temperature couldn't damage you through the shield. High quality, I've come to expect from it. Good, good. I'm really getting hyped now. You know what, I might as well heal. Boom, full health for everyone. Planet Befall. Ooh, okay, that was a much more solid hit this time. Alright, she'll do the fire tornado thing now, alright? Here he comes. It's coming on September 22nd, so 4 more days. Alright, it'll have to wait a little bit before I play it, because I want to finish Master Detective Archives first, and then it will take over the Saturday slot, I guess.
Who dares call me a witch?
Come on, your temperature doesn't mean shit to me.
I never asked.
There we go.
Redemption. Never.
Got it. Fair enough. Welcome back. Welcome back, Graveera. I did it. I got my Zhongli. Why are we looking down at the ground? Is there something down there? Okay, we're looking straight ahead in this door. Why? Here we're looking straight, and then we're looking down. What's down there? What are we looking at? Okay. The floor is just so interesting. I guess it is. I wonder why. We're already doing it here. Okay, then. I guess. We just don't want to look at the door or something. Huh. Well, we have Zhongli, constellation level 6 now, which is nice. Read the funny. I mean, I know you want me to play ahead in time. I never asked dies. Listen, you're right. Yup. Yup, she do be dead. So amazing. He has to look down on everything. Yes. I mean, come on. Just look at him. Of course he's amazing. Alright. Let's get back to Kaveh real quick. I think we should be able to finish off Kaveh's endings. Probably. So let's do that. Down on Hu Tao. Hey, Watchmini, you saw, his healing isn't all that strong, right? So I'm sure he can still work even with Hu Tao. And again, no matter what, it doesn't change the fact that his shield is gonna be super useful. Trust me? Alright, fine. I'm not a Hu Tao player anyway.
We meet again.
Yes.
That's
we meet again, and I've already read this or heard this dialogue, I should say. Let's get to the new stuff.
You're right. The desert is too... And
it's annoying.
All
Okay, I see.
I don't have much longer left on this world. So I just want to use whatever...
Why did you feel like you needed to lie?
I didn't want you to know that I came from the desert. I've lived in the desert my entire life, and there wasn't anyone here that I could trust.
Okay, that's the same.
When I first... Someone agreed...
Yeah, that's still the same dialogue. I think the split path is a little bit later. I think it's convincing the merchants. So we can't ask for merchants to fund this. We instead have to do something else. What was the other option again?
That's what I've done the math, so... To be honest, all I want is to build this a while ago.
Yeah, you try building that library. Where's the split option? I want to see the new story.
But let's break building it
There we go. Can we try a slightly different style?
A slightly different style? Give me a minute. Most architects would probably prioritize cutting costs and removing extra features in this situation. Indeed, converting the building into a simple bungalow would solve most of our problems. However, I do not think this would be the best solution.
Okay, so then what are we gonna do?
While it's true that the aesthetic value of a building is often viewed as an afterthought, neglecting it has some long-term negative consequences. It is especially undesirable in this situation, as the library will serve a high number of children, many of whom would have never been exposed to structures that may be considered elegant or beautiful.
So you want to make a good first impression on them.
To completely give up on the more aesthetic design would mean stripping the children of an opportunity to appreciate the beauty of architecture. I share Badawi's sentiments in wanting to preserve a more complex design. However, if we can reduce the ornate aspects of the design while maintaining its fundamental elegance.
Okay.
Which is to say, we won't touch the arches and stone pillars, but make changes elsewhere. This is definitely a first.
Probably, you know, getting support from a certain merchant was probably the better ending, but I feel like this can work too.
To make up for the loss of regular details, we would need to put a lot of extra effort into the layout, lines, and color.
I see. Would that really be okay?
It just increases the difficulty of the design. You should feel lucky that out of all the architects in the city, you chose to approach me. Most of the others would have given up on this project by now.
But not Kaveh, the best architect around, apparently.
As for inspiration, I think I might have something in mind, but I'd need to visit the site to make sure. Where do you want this place to be built? Tell me the exact location.
Aru Village. Although it wasn't my childhood home, I think it'll be the best site for such a building.
It is basically the biggest village in the desert, isn't it? So,
okay,
you know.
Then we can pay a visit to Aru Village.
Is there something I can do for you? I've already caused you a lot of trouble before, and now you're revising the design again because of me. Which draft are we even on now?
I think it was number 7, right?
Guilty.
He's made 6 drafts so far, so this would be the 7th one.
Let me think. You said you used to be an Eremite mercenary, right? In that case, you could help us clear out some monsters that are blocking the way to Aru Village. We want to keep the roads clear, and reduce the loss of materials during transport to a minimum. If everything goes well, that'll help us save some Mora.
All right, just leave it to me. If there's anything
All right, time to build a library for those children.
Out monsters.
What are you waiting for then? Let's pack up and get ready to go.
To Aru Village. Well, I can just teleport to. Thankfully. Saves me a lot of travel time. Except, you know, loading screens. Alright, we're meeting up out here.
Most materials going from Caravan Ribat to Aru Village would pass through here. There are a lot of monsters out here today. If you find it hard to keep up, just let us know.
Did he leave out that line, or am I imagining things? Maybe I'm just becoming even more dumb than normal, but I thought it sounded like he left out the line. But I might just be stupid.
Oh, don't worry about me. This is nothing. I'll be careful, though, and you should do the same.
Alright, time to kill some stuff.
By royal
Stabilize.
Scanning.
Alright. Again, I'll have to make sure I get some good artifacts for Zhongli too. I have him basically leveled up as far as I can, but he doesn't have the best of equipment yet. Are you hurt?
Fine. I've spent my entire life fighting these kinds of monsters in the desert after all. They won't get the best of me. But it's one thing to fight against monsters, and another to fight against an old injury. It's something I picked up when I was young. There were many fights between mercenary brigades back then, and one day someone stabbed me in the back.
Like betrayal or like literal backstab? I'm assuming he means literal backstab, but maybe it's a mix of both.
I don't think much of it back then, but with age, it's caught up to me. Few mercenaries get to enjoy their later years. Failing health tends to take the joy out of reputation and wealth. And many mercenaries never even made much of the latter to begin with.
Is there someone you know who can help to look after you?
Unfortunately, no. My wife passed away at an early age, and I don't have any children.
Is that maybe one of the reasons why he wants to build a library for the children of the village?
Sometimes I'd close my eyes and realize most of my life story has already been written. I have many regrets about my past.
Sounds like literal, yeah.
At the same time,
but again,
I
it could be a
also
mix of
know
both.
that there were never many options for me in the first place.
Like, got backstabbed by literally being backstabbed. So it's both figurative and literal.
I joined the Eremites.
But
when I
yeah, it
was
sounded
young
like it was purely
and
literal.
won many battles
You're
with
right.
them. My survival was more a matter of luck than actual ability. If at all possible, I want future children of the desert to have some more options in life. I don't want them to turn out like me. My apologies. The older we get, the more we tend to ramble. Seems like we've already cleared out most of the monsters. Let's hurry over to Aru village.
I actually just came from there, but now we're going back. Watch the distance as he talks. Kaveh is lost in thought as he observes the figure. What's on your mind?
I think it's really admirable of him to spend his whole life savings on people he's never met. Maybe he's doing this out of natural kindness. A kindness that hasn't been eroded away by the struggles of his life.
He said it differently than it's written. He said out of natural kindness, and the text says out of the kindness of his heart. More inconsistencies in the game that I will point out. Doesn't that also sound like you, Kaveh?
Perhaps. To clarify, though, I don't think I'm quite the same. Some people call me an idealist. I do have some sentiments of that general persuasion, such as wanting everyone to be able to lead a happy life.
He's again changing the lines. Kaveh's voice actor taking liberties with this dialogue. Yeah, he left out the shore, and he said, instead of I do have some idealist sentiments, he said he had some sentiments of that kind. Yeah. He is definitely changing things up a little bit. I mean, it's not that that's a bad thing, it's just, you know, something that I'm noticing.
But my situation is more complex than that. In the beginning, what drove me to
sentiments of
harbor
that
those
particular
thoughts was
persuasion.
less
There we go.
idealism, and more a desire to make up for a sense of guilt.
Again, he added something in here, and more to make up for a sense of guilt is what he said, right?
When I was young, I impulsively encouraged my father to take part in the
Impulsively was
first
added?
championship hosted by the academia.
We're just adding stuff in. Being more fancy and colorful. Yuri would approve, yes. Add all that extra stuff in there.
He set off confidently hoping to win something for me, but failed to clinch the title. What's more, he fell into depression after the competition, and requested to join an investigative research project in the desert. I never saw him again. Why was it that he got caught in quicksand? Even if other factors may have contributed to his death, the fundamental cause still circles back to me.
God damn it. Gotta hate when people blame themselves for something like
I
this.
started doing many things
Just
in life because
don't.
I wanted to make amends. Even in cases where I couldn't do something for a specific person, I still did whatever I could. I think I just wanted to make myself feel a little better.
And is that still how you feel?
At this point, even I don't know. I've tried self-reflection, but it didn't help. I can't seem to walk away from many things that I see or hear about, even if they don't directly concern me. And I can't quite pinpoint the source of it.
Man. And yet, let's not forget that he still owes money to someone on the black market. Let's not question how that came to be.
Maybe it's just like what those Vahumana scholars often say. It's hard for people to truly understand themselves.
He's always trying to help people out without putting his own interests first, which is really catching up to him, because if he didn't do that, he probably could have paid off his debt much faster.
I could be doing things out of endless guilt, or I could be doing them out of a strong sense of empathy. It could even just be a matter of conceit. The potential motivations could number in the dozens, but the actions they result in are the same. Anyway, I suppose I don't really mind being called an idealist. They also use that term to describe my father. It seemed to carry fewer connotations back when he was around. I've known Alhaitham for many years now, and discussed my ideology with him for nearly as long.
Yeah.
Maybe argued is a better word for it.
Yeah, they do have that dynamic. They do have that dynamic where they hate each other oh so much. Yet they live together under the same roof and everything. Like, honestly, seeing the two of them argue, it's like watching an old married couple. We've said that before on stream. They do argue like an old married couple, constantly. It's hilarious, even more so with the fact that, oh my god, they are roommates.
He told me a long time ago that no matter how strong of a swimmer you may be, you'll still get dragged under by the others who are drowning once you run out of stamina. He believes this is the fate that awaits all idealists. I still believe I should live by my ideals, and I've given him countless reasons why I think it's a good idea to do so. Perhaps my ideals are flawed, but are there really any perfect things in this world?
I mean, I don't think anything can be perfect. Also, cool username. Welcome to the stream. Hello.
Unfortunately,
how
he
are
remains
you?
Unconvinced.
Just got $5.
His personality is the exact opposite of my own.
Found
If someone
randomly or
happens to
something,
drown
or
next
what?
to him, he'll most likely stand on the shore and mumble something along the lines of respecting other people's fates. But as you can see, I'm not the only idealist in the world. Just as there are different seasons, there are also different people. There are many others who will continue to care about the fates of those who are not directly related to them. And when I finally run out of stamina, someone will also reach out and bring me back to shore.
Ah, you want my chromatics? Perhaps I could share them. We've talked about. I said maybe I should. Do you what do you want to use them for? I just want to make a cover. What kind of cover are we talking? Surprise? I don't know.
Someone will help me, right? Yes, I've already been helped like that before.
Should I have a life preserver at the ready? I'll help you when the time comes.
But you've helped me plenty already. If you didn't reach out to me, I would probably be passed out on the tavern table right now instead of talking with Badawi. Either way, I'm feeling much better than when you first found me at the tavern.
Let's go.
Feel inspiration already welling up inside of me. Maybe
that
this
is
will be just
very
the opportunity I
unlikely.
needed to create a whole new style.
That is some very unlikely rivalry. Jacksepticeye. Because of the color scheme?
All right, let's head to Aru Village.
Intriguing. Alright, time to go to the village. I'll teleport again. I'll have to remember to do to send the stuff. Yeah, okay, so it is the colors. I mean, I guess in a way it makes sense.
Now that we're here, it's my partner's time to shine. Marak!
I don't remember. Are you on my Discord server? I don't know, because if so, I could easily send it to you there. Just drop the files real quick or something. If not, then I'll have to think about how I should send them.
Oh, what's this?
My toolbox. I built it using an ancient mechanical core. It's not too smart, but it's super useful and can help me with a variety of tasks. I'll take Marak and find a suitable location for the building. Once that is done, I'll get to work on a few designs.
But yeah, I mean, I already have a chromatic skill and everything. Yeah, we got a cute toolbox, I know. He uses it in his attacks as well.
Traveler?
Sataria?
Ah, you know each other?
I hardly remember her.
Oh, I suppose you must be Kaveh from Kasharwar. I have heard of you before. My name is Sataria, and I'm currently the person in charge of promoting educational assistance programs here in the desert.
Educational assistance programs.
Ah, okay, I see.
Then you must be familiar with the local conditions here.
I can't say I'm too familiar just yet, but if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them.
I've been commissioned by Mr. Badawi to build a library in the desert. We've settled on the general design direction, but we are trying to finalize some details based on the conditions around the intended location.
So we're getting some intel from a local here.
A library? Do you intend to open it to the public for free?
That's right. I want to make sure
Let's
the children will
go.
have books to read.
Have a challenge? Oh no, what's it gonna be?
That's fantastic! I'm sure the children will be thrilled. Right now, we don't have access to many paper books or a quiet place to read. Truth be told, this very thing has been keeping me up at night.
Let me get straight to my question.
There we go.
Can you estimate the number of children around here who'd be interested in reading? Besides the usual noise of village pedestrians, are there any other sources of noise in the village? Oh, and have any landslides occurred here recently? And also, where are the spots around the village that have been most affected by wind and erosion?
Zhongli considers Kave's questions and offers her answers.
All right, that should be everything.
Choose in 24 hours? That would be tough. Also, I do not have the time for something like that right now, I think. I really, sadly, do not have the time for that kind of stuff.
Badawi, let's go over the
But it
budget
would be
again.
fun.
We'll keep
like,
the building
maybe at a
structure the
different...
same, but make the place a little bigger.
If
so
you
it'll be able
proposed
to
that
hold more
challenge a
people
few
and
weeks
get better natural
ago,
light.
I think I definitely would have been... I think I would have been more likely to be on board.
The parts of the project that cost the most will be the insulation and ventilation materials.
I shall
sure
let you know.
Understand, no one likes to read in a place that's hot and stuffy. I want to make significant changes to the arrangement of the bookshelves, tables, and chairs. I'll go over the specifics of that shortly. I have two plans in mind. Both are pretty minimalist in style, but will provide a very different ambiance from the world outside. Our final cost should be around 70% of the last figure I quoted. The whole thing
Alright, so a good decrease.
around half a year to complete.
How much more is that, though? Maybe I can afford to pay it for them.
Marak has produced a sketch for all of you to see.
Also, welcome back,
If
Spinner.
everyone's okay with it, then we'll proceed with that as the formal plan.
You've got a new design plan already?
The inspiration just came to me naturally. All I did was put thoughts to paper. I must give you credit, though. If it weren't for your advice
fair.
and suggestions, I probably wouldn't have landed on this new style so quickly. According to the traditions of my profession, I should probably name this style after you. Let's call it the Traveler style.
But it's just the code style.
In the meantime, let's look forward to the day when this building is completed and can finally open its doors.
I'm guessing that's the ending? Yup. Cute toolbox with the plans. Blueprint for the future. Present suffering is nothing compared to granting hope for the future to others.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as
Traveler style. There he goes again, taking liberties with the dialogue. To be fair, though, that is because of the name. Alright, so there's one more ending. Jesus. Oh god. My throat is drying out for some reason. Think I got it now. Everything's under control. It's just the kind of funny, yeah. Okay, so there is another split path here. Which means it splits off somewhere over here. Let's figure out the final path. The final ending for Kaveh's story. First things first, back to the tavern. Don't do whatever Gabe did. Oh god, I hope I don't have to worry about that. Alright, back to the tavern where he's currently drinking.
Taking this commission was truly the worst decision ever.
Are you alright?
Actually, while we're on that, what are you doing here at the tavern?
I saw you arguing.
Stress is just an inescapable
for you, a
part of being
cheeseburger
a
for
working
dinner.
adult. Boss, I'll have a glass of... Do you want something too?
I guess I'll take
put it on
cheeseburger
my
for
tab.
dinner every day for a year, because that way I at least get something else to eat as well, and not like eat cheeseburger for every single meal.
I know you're already keeping us... That guy...
So I could still eat pizza if I
Another
choose
glass.
to,
You
like,
got
just
it.
for
It
breakfast,
really
or,
is, but perhaps getting
you know.
would spend a lot... I suppose...
Well,
all of
breakfast
this-
not. Who would eat pizza for
Boss,
breakfast, but, like, for lunch, for example.
What do you think?
Art is something that resonates with the masses?
Yes, art shouldn't be self-indulgent entertainment saved for the elite. Let's say that I built a house for someone. If they don't like how it looks, then no matter how brilliant it may appear to me, they won't be happy with it. The problem is that it can be very difficult to get validated by
Gotta
others.
go? Oh, I will have fun. Thanks for
Compromise
checking
my
in. I do
personal
appreciate it.
standards
See you
to
around.
accommodate my clients, but often that just means creating a final
And
product
have more
that I
fun
would
with club
struggle to look
meetings when
at.
you get to it again. Definitely not. Leftovers for breakfast. I see. Here. Okay, back to the wine topic. Ooh, this is the split point. Now the question is, was there something else over here to do? Done in the last episode? It's gonna be a doozy. Ooh, I imagine. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. But first, I need to finish Raincode, which is gonna take a few more weeks, I think. Where do you think the other option was? I think maybe down here? Actually, no, I think there was another option up
He
here.
understands nothing about my design.
You
And
can
all the
convince him to
suggestions
see
he
your
made
point
were
of
as if he just
view.
wanted to mock me. You mean, if I managed to get him to see things my way, then this project would also gain recognition from many people? You've got a point. Let's hear him out one more time, then. Time to get going. I know where we'd be able to find the guy. There's no time to
Okay,
wait.
is it different
The
now
wine
is
can
the
wait until
question.
another time. I'll go take care of the bill.
Is it different or is it the same thing because we're seeking that dude out? Jesus, first the cough, now the sneeze. What is going on? I'm getting sick as well, aren't I? Gave you 100. I would be very, very thankful. I mean, I would definitely ask why, and I would ask if they're sure about it. But if they're sure, then I don't think I would have a reason to decline. But I would have to make absolutely sure that they wouldn't regret giving me the money. I would ask again and again if it's really fine. But I'm not one to reject a gift like that. Let's see. So that is over here. Let me actually... Can I check which part I'm currently on? Damn it, I went back. Okay, never mind. We're going back to this part.
Taking this commission was truly the
After
worst
the
decision
camera.
ever.
Take it back. What do you mean after the camera they take it back? Also like filming something like reaction
Actually,
stuff.
while we're on that,
Well, I wouldn't
here at the
run.
tavern.
Do you do
Don't
character
listen to anyone who
reviews?
says that drinking is an elegant pastime. It's no good for your
Ooh,
health.
not really. Also, by the way, I don't know what my name to be. Welcome to the stream, first of all. I don't really do. I mean, I myself am more of a noob. I constantly have to ask others for advice to know how I have to build a character. I mean, for example, I have C6 Zhongli now, but I still don't have a good artifact set for him because I never grinded it. What do you mean? I wouldn't because I don't know. I mean, fair. Not everyone would take the money, I guess.
Anyway, thanks for looking out for me. Honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Can we talk about the fact how we're just facing away from him? Thanks for looking out for me. I don't know who this Kaveh guy is. I am in no way affiliated with him. I am just standing here looking somewhere else. Don't talk to me.
Stress is just an inescapable part of being a working adult.
Oh, never mind. Oh,
I'll have a glass of wine.
We turned around for a second. Kaveh. Did you see that? We turned around for a second and then immediately flipped back to facing this way.
Do you want something too? I'll put it on my tab.
Wine in a glass.
I guess I'll take the juice. Hu Tao, yes.
Already keeping that guy. Another glass.
You've got it.
Really
we are just facing somewhere entirely different.
I suppose
perfect.
All of this...
Here's your drink,
boss.
The meaning of anyway. I don't.
What do you think?
I have no idea.
No worries. It's been bothering.
I feel like we're supposed to be facing the camera here. All right, let's do something else.
Sounds
I guess.
Great to me. I don't even want.
How about looking into another career?
A different career. I see. That's not a bad idea.
Let's turn around.
I think I've heard a saying somewhere before. 80% of a working adult's woes are due to not having enough mora in the bank. It's just a saying, of course, but even I will admit that my life would be a lot better if I could make additional mora. And if I want
let's
to
look
more,
around.
I should finish that ridiculous commission. But I really can't find it in me to go back and talk to him right now. Hold on. I just remembered that I used to have a senior classmate by the name of Alkami. If memory serves me right, he's no longer taking private commissions, but he's still doing pretty well for himself. Maybe I'll be able to get some advice from him.
And there we go. There's our...
get on this right away.
Now we're on track
More
for our
wine
alternate
me today.
ending.
I'll grab the bill and be on my way.
Let's go. Let's do this. And you know what? If we have plenty of time, we might be able to get the final ending of Kaya's Hangouts as well. Because we're still missing one there. Perhaps. Why did the message sent? Which message? You know, I have encountered stuff like that before. I don't know why that stuff happens. I think chat might have disconnected for a second for you. I'll hate them. No, I'll hate them. You know Kaveh wouldn't search him out voluntarily.
It's been a while. What have you been up to recently?
Yeah, it's been a long time, Alkami. Things haven't changed much for me. I'm still taking private commissions for all kinds of projects.
I heard that you were the genius behind the Palace of Alcazar. I bet you're all set for Mora after
He's really not. He's really not.
Well, it's hard to make a profit from every project, you know?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean like all the different variations of me that have been revealed over time? I mean, there are a small handful. I think I have like a compilation image of all of my different forms together. I'll have to look, I'll look that one up. I'll look up that compilation image later. Makes it easier.
Hard to make a profit.
But it's not money.
You've got to be joking. I've never met an architect who didn't make a profit from a project. Unless the client fled before they paid the commission fee in full. But that doesn't sound
Oh,
right
63.
Dory have a pretty decent reputation in our local business.
Why do you want me to do that?
I don't think she's ever been involved in any
Why would you
kind
want to
of
do
thief
that?
scandal.
Yes. Rule 63. Gotta be familiar with the rules of the internet.
Well, about that.
Then again, most people know Rule
it
34, but
was complicated.
not as much the other rules.
I understand. Either way, doing one project after another sure gets exhausting over the years, huh? I've been there, so I can feel your pain.
Ahem. Spin is gonna recite it. There's a female version of that character, and vice versa. There it is, there's Rule 63.
I mean, I obviously never had your reputation to live up to. That must have been stressful. But I'm sure we faced all the same problems. Trying to keep your client in a good mood while you're trying to stop them from micromanaging things they don't know the first thing about. I don't miss it. Thankfully, that's all behind me.
Did you start a new career?
Not exactly. My work is still closely related to architecture.
Why you know Grill? Well, quite simple, because I'm not pissed off.
Judging from the look on your face, you're still strapped for Mora. That's quite unfortunate.
Vice versa means the other way
You're the
around.
most artistically gifted graduate the Kasharawar Darshan has seen in decades. But it looks like you still have a lot to learn in terms of making Mora. With that said, us Kasharawar grads should still look out for each other.
Alright.
What if I told you about an idea
Let's
that
see the
will
hint.
absolve you of all your Mora troubles going forward?
What's that idea? Come on, tell us.
Are you serious? But something like that has got to be some kind of top-level business secret. Are you sure you can just share something like that with me? Besides, I don't want to just take something like that without offering anything in return. I still have a little Mora. Or is there something that I can help you with?
Singing Triple Trouble? Is there like a Triple Trouble with lyrics that they started singing, or did they just make the noises?
Oh, you're too kind. This is just a simple tip. Even if I didn't bring it up, I'm sure you'd hear it from the others sooner or later. The idea is this. I recently opened up a training center.
The noises.
The goal
Oh
of
god.
educating people in architecture design.
Yes, just randomly singing Triple Trouble.
Compared to the classes
Amazing.
taught by those old fossils at the academia, my classes are more condensed and streamlined, and will allow people to quickly get their foot in the door. Unlike the academia, I
Was
won't turn
me, but
down
it's understandable.
anyone who's
What do you mean?
rich
I read it, I just didn't read it out
As
loud.
long as someone wishes to learn more
Your little
about
joke.
architecture, I'll accept them into my training center.
I mean, come on, you already got the swimsuit outfits. What more could you possibly ask for, Spin, huh?
It just so happens that I'm still looking for a few more instructors. So, what do you say? Interested in coming over to give a few lectures? Regardless of the pay, I can already guarantee that it'll be far more comfortable than
Well, there we
working on
go.
random people's private commissions.
There's Kaveh's little way out to make some money.
Ah, so you want me to join you as an instructor? That does sound like something I'd be able to do. It sounds like a pretty stable job, too.
I mean, there are some people, like Deadly, who just have their chat permanently be in text-to-speech. But I don't know about that. I feel like that can kind of overshadow the game at times. Which is why I think it's best for it to stay a redeem.
What do you think, Traveler?
At least you won't have to deal with clients anymore. I think you can give it a go.
Then it's a deal.
Yes, it's a deal. Thank you, Alkami.
Like I said, there's no need to thank me for this. The lecture room is not far from here, so you can just come straight here tomorrow morning. As for the pay, how about we start at 300,000 Mora per lecture?
Ooh.
300,000?
Immediate heart.
Are you serious? How could you offer so much?
You have a lot of trolls? Yeah, you always gotta be careful. Try to make, yes, say Sayori right, or you can attempt. Slashist? I don't think I have heard of them. No, should I have?
It would seem that you're still oblivious to your own economic worth.
Sorry, 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 Natsuki, Monica, Yuri, sorry. Say sorry right, damn it.
It will not say Sayori right. It will always remain sorry. Alright, I might give that channel a quick search.
300,000 is also just the base rate. Just trust me on this. The longer you stick with me, the more you'll come to understand your true value in the market.
Alright. Kave's gonna hold some lectures now,
I have to go make some preparations now. See you tomorrow.
I guess I'm gonna have to time skip.
Close with Alkami when we were in school. Who would have thought that he'd be so nice and friendly? I've hosted free lectures before, but this would be my first time being hired to lecture for a formal business. 300,000 mora per lecture. Whew. I'm so excited that I'm starting to get nervous.
I'll join you for the lecture.
Thanks so much. I think I will be able to relax a bit more with a friend in the audience.
Let's go.
Now, what should I talk about tomorrow? Some lessons I've learned over the past few years? I should probably save those for later. For my first lecture, I should start by getting them more interested in the field.
There you go.
Alright, let's meet here again tomorrow morning. I should hurry home and create some kind of lesson plan. If I'm going to become an instructor, I should make sure
again I will cry. Imagine Alhaitham hears about Kaveh holding a lecture, and he just shows up to be the most obnoxious student possible. He's just gonna be in the audience, constantly raising his hand, be like, "Excuse me, but have you considered this?" Just trying to be as annoying as humanly possible. Wouldn't put it past him. Alright, fast forward to the next day. Have you considered the exit, Kaveh? Amazing rebuttal. Alright, let's go. Lecture time.
Oh, I didn't expect you two to get here so early.
I mean, it's his first lesson. Of course he's gonna be early.
I was up last night preparing for the lecture, but I ended up getting so excited that I couldn't fall asleep. Here, I've prepared a lesson plan. Do you want to take a look?
Lesson plan? I must commend you for your dedication.
Actually, no.
But the training center
Kaveh
has already
wins.
developed its own set of teaching materials. Instead of using your own plan, you can just use what we have here. Of course, you're always welcome to work in some of your own content to add some fun and flavor.
Can I take a look at your materials?
Sure. Be my guest.
The materials cover a variety of architectural knowledge. At first glance, nothing appears to be amiss.
It's almost time for the lecture to start. Feel free to head in and start the class whenever you're ready.
Who would join? Probably the Traveler, let's face it, main character. Ether and Lumine, yeah. So probably it would be like the thing where, like, where the character is like 4 of the 8 skins are Ether, the other 4 are Lumine. And your skill set would probably revolve around switching between the different elements. Alright, I might have to check out the channel later.
Huh. So you've already developed your own set of teaching materials. Seems like I won't need the stuff I've prepared after all. Anyway, shouldn't be a problem. I'll just go ahead and use your materials. There's something else I want to ask, though. This isn't going to be a large class, is it?
Large enough for Alhaitham to show up, I'm sure.
No need to stress. There are only 20 people in this class.
Get in. I mean, Sans is technically in it, as, you know, a me, but still. Undyne Asgore. Fair choices. Could be like a team up though. What if like Sans and Papyrus team up? With Papyrus being like the main character you're controlling, because Sans in lore would die in one hit. Well, that is an interesting thing to say. What?
There are 14 classes at my training center. Out of all of them, the first class has the best grades, so I've directed them to you. We'll see how well they take to your lectures.
20 people, huh? All right. I think I can handle that.
21 if I'm included, right?
Oh, and one last thing. In the interest of keeping a quiet learning space, only instructors and students are allowed in the classroom when class is in session.
Oh, so I can't go in.
I'm sorry to say this, but your friend will have to wait outside while you teach the class.
That's okay, I was thinking about taking a walk anyway.
Sorry about that. I'll meet you at the door when the class is over then.
Is Alchemy really as nice as he seems? I should probably ask around a bit. Turn back, okay. Adan?
Hey there. Can I help you?
Do you know a man by the name of Alchemy?
Oh, Alchemy? You mean that rich guy who's been making quite the name for himself? Yeah, he commissioned a set of furniture from me a while back. Paid a great deal of mora for it, too. I heard he earned a fortune working as a renowned architect. Now he's opened a training center so others can follow in his footsteps. If the tuition wasn't sky high, I'd enroll my child in a heartbeat. Architecture really sounds like a lucrative profession.
This is all some big marketing scheme, isn't it? He's trying to get people into it.
Did you hear?
By saying he's rich.
Kaveh to be an instructor.
I bet that'll boost his enrollment numbers.
Really makes you jealous, eh? If you think about it, Alchemy was never that talented himself as an architect. If we're just talking about professional skill, no one would pay for a class with him.
That's true, but you've got to admit, his advertisements are really effective. After all, the academia only admits those who can pass its entrance exam. So only a few people could hope to study architecture in the halls of the Kashar-War. For those who can't pass the exam, or who just want to jump straight into the industry, the training center is the best bang for the mora.
Alright.
Man, to have that kind of business acumen.
So it's like a shortcut, essentially. Before long, Kaveh's class is over.
Alright, everyone. There's no need to be nervous. Class is over, so we can just chat for a bit. I shouldn't have lost my temper during the lecture. Did I scare anybody?
The hair.
No, you weren't scary at all, Mr. Kaveh. We were just a bit lost and didn't get what you were talking about.
Did something happen, Kaveh?
Oh, don't get me started. I was trying to use Alchemy's materials, so I flipped through some pages and gave them a closer look. The more I read, the more upset I became.
Oh, that against your principal?
Alchemy may fool an amateur, but he can't fool anyone who's...
Well, I can tell you, I'm personally not into
The materials
Fortnite.
he made are completely useless for teaching real architecture.
To be fair, I'm not really into any real shooters, so, you know. Why do you say that?
In my opinion, the most important skill of an architect is their ability to craft a design. In other words, they must be able to conceptualize ideas. There are tens of thousands of buildings in the world, as well as a countless number of architectural styles. Some designs emphasize aesthetics, while others prioritize practicality. The architects who can critically evaluate the quality and fit of different designs are those who can come up with great designs of their own. But you won't get any of that from the teaching materials they're using here. All these students are doing in class is rote memorization of existing designs. They are learning nothing about the underlying principles. How can they expect to become real architects?
I mean,
when they're done with this class,
it's not like
all they'll
this is from the
become are
class by the
dilettantes with a
academy.
Pitiful smattering of architectural knowledge.
But Mr. Kaveh, we didn't really understand anything you said after you threw away the materials either. What's the big deal anyway? It's not like we're looking to make some works of art. We just
Oh
wanna
no,
make
you
some
just upset
Mora.
him.
You're studying architecture to make Mora?
Yeah. Why else would we be studying here?
Again, Kaveh, you want to make Mora too, isn't that why you're here?
My biggest dream is to become someone like Mr. Alkami. Once I finally make my fortune in architecture, I'll be able to buy anything I like.
Huh. In that case, I'm afraid you'll probably be disappointed. The reality is that the work of an architect is very difficult, and the pay is not lucrative at all.
And
Believe
unless
me,
you
I'm a
become a
perfect
teacher.
example.
It's a pyramid scheme. You gotta become a teacher to get more people into architecture. And then they realize they're not making any money, so they have to become a teacher to make the money, and by that get more people into architecture, which then all will realize that they're not making any money. Oh no.
But how? Mr. Alkami just told us last night that you made a killing by building the Palace of Alcazarzare. He also said that as long as we graduate from his class, waves upon waves of people will reach out to us with private commissions.
Nope.
And we can just sit back and wait for Mora to fill up our pockets. It won't be long before I can put these miserable days behind me.
That dude is a liar.
Come on. And you all believed everything he said?
But Mr. Alkami is really rich, isn't he?
You... It's pointless trying to argue this with you right now. You've already filled your heads with pipe dreams. Let's go, traveler.
At least
Let's
not
hear
pipe
about
bombs.
Alkami's true plans from the man himself.
Hello, we need to talk.
What's wrong, Kaveh? You look quite flustered. Did one of my students offend you? Were the students not astute enough for your liking?
It was the lesson plan that
I used to
offended
warn you to
him.
go a bit easier on them. After all, they're nothing like the genius scholars you're used to dealing with at the academia. We don't need to strive for perfect understanding. As long as some knowledge has been passed on, that's good enough.
Yeah, I'm mad at them.
Oh boy.
I'm even more upset that you're scamming people under the guise of teaching them about architecture. The students are all here hoping for a quick way to make money, but we both know that an architect's life is hard and exhausting.
Damn.
Just a little while ago, I was toiling over the 6th draft of a design for a client.
Yeah, and you know, in an alternate ending, you actually made a 7th draft.
If your client is unhappy, you can't break ground, and the longer a project goes, the longer it takes for you to get paid in full. What's worse, if your client disappears in the middle of a project, good luck getting anything from them ever again. You know all of this just as well as I do. Why lie to them?
So he can get money.
Look, Kaveh, you may be the light of Ksharawar, but like I said, you still have a lot to learn about making Mora. You may deny it all you want, but it's a fact that in today's Sumeru, architecture is a terrible profession. Our clients care very little
Yikes.
for the effort we pour into our designs. Instead of appreciating us, they spend all their time nitpicking details and demanding changes, often forcing all kinds of ridiculous ideas onto us.
I suppose that's more or less true. Go on.
Why should we cling on to a profession that's difficult and unrewarding? If the field is dying, then a person who still wants to make a good living will just have to change their strategy.
What, by making good marketing and cheating people out of their money?
It's impossible to make money as an architect. Then why not just establish a training center and train other people to become architects in our stead?
Wait, how does that make any sense? Aren't you just leading them into the same trap?
Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme.
We are already stuck, my friend. The more people we can lead into this pit and stack as padding beneath our feet, the more comfortable our lives will be.
So instead of making money from architecture, you made your money from your students.
That's right. Making money as an architect is a slow and agonizing process. In comparison, earning tuition from a training center is far easier. None of the students will ever know, however. In their eyes, all of my income was earned during my years as an architect. It's easy for them to fall for my promise. After all, everyone wants to live the dream of being the person who can spend millions without batting an eye.
That do be a bit of a yikes.
The more students I get, the more money I earn. And the more real that dream becomes.
And then what? Once they graduate, they'll still find out the truth about architecture and struggle to stay afloat amid all the problems we already talked about.
But at that point, it's not his problem anymore.
When that happens, your facade will pop like a soap bubble. No one will believe you anymore.
Ah, but that's just one way to look at the problem. No two people have the same amount of talent. Even if they fail to strike gold in the future, you can't say that it's my fault and mine alone.
But if all your students fail, then you would be the common denominator.
Oh, and also, I never actually promised that they would achieve financial freedom as long as they become architects. All I did was nudge them towards that belief. I'm not even scared if they do come back and stir up trouble. My training center has all the required permits and certifications.
Damn.
Even the Dendro Archon herself couldn't find fault in any part of my business.
How can you sleep at night knowing that you're doing all this? Tell me, is your heart carved out of brick and stone?
Are you sure?
No,
his hearts are gone again. Sure, Nahida, get over here.
I am beyond disappointed in you.
And the same goes to you. How many years has it been since you graduated from the academia? If you still can't accept something like this, do you just plan on keeping that worthless naivete of yours until the end of time?
Apparently so, yes.
Only fools will see art as revered and sacred. In the end, art is just another business. Being successful at running a business is an art form in itself. I urge you to think about what I've said. Offloading your pain onto others is the only way a person can live comfortably in this world.
That is not who he is, though. He's an idealist. We already talked about this.
As the light of the Ksharawar, you've accumulated plenty of fame and respect. It's high time that you use those resources to improve the circumstances of your own life.
But he wants to improve the circumstances of everyone's lives.
Think it over, Kaveh. I still believe our collaboration could be very fruitful.
What do you plan to do next?
I'm so mad, I feel a headache coming on. There's nothing more I can say to him. I'll resign from my position as instructor.
You'll give up on the Mora?
Of course. I'm sure you've realized that as long as I remained at this center,
I am so
to
mad.
use my name to advertise this place. Even if I just sit back and do nothing, others will be deceived and suffer because of me. He is right about one thing, though. These kinds of training centers are everywhere. And even if the academia was to find out about it, it's unlikely that they would take any real action against it. The most they can accuse
again,
him of
he
is
said
false
it's
advertising.
legit. He has all the
And even that would be hard to prove.
all the permits. So yeah, there's something strange about all of this.
Oh, did you notice something else?
Not everyone should be able to pay such exorbitant tuition. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a point. The rate he gave me was 300,000 mora per lecture. That probably came out of the students' tuition. And who knows just how much he's been charging the students for attending his classes.
So how are they able to afford it?
If you're gambling everything on making it rich as an architect, are you really going to have the mora to pay for that kind of tuition?
We can try asking the students.
Right. We should hurry. The students didn't believe a word I was telling them. They're still daydreaming about making millions. We're never going to get any information from them again if we let Alkami talk to them first. Let's move now before he's had the chance to react.
Alright, let's go, let's go. Oh, children, talk to me.
Oh, Mr. Kaveh? What are you doing back here?
Class finished a while ago, but you're still here. Why haven't you gone home?
I wanted to stay for a little longer. I'm still thinking about everything you taught during the class. Even though a lot of it went right over my head, I still thought the houses you drew were really pretty.
Well, there you go. Nice compliments.
Of course they were. All the examples I drew were world-famous landmarks. Each one was the magnum opus of a celebrated architect. It's a good thing that you could recognize them for their beauty. The accumulation of knowledge is the first step to artistic expression. Instead of rote memorization, you should try to relate and to understand, and after that, try to resonate with the work.
Why is the music going quiet?
Resonate?
Oh, just switch to the next track, that's why.
Yes. When I first got into architecture, there were many things about it that I couldn't understand at all. I would find a building to be beautiful, but have no idea what made it so good. And for most people, just being able to admire a building is enough. To become a good architect, however, you must also learn to assess and appraise. Going from admiration to
Look at him
assessment
teaching
will take
again.
a
I
lot
thought
of
class
time
was
and
finished. Why are you
specialized
still
knowledge.
teaching stuff?
And I'm afraid that some superficial speed training won't be enough to take you there.
Just as I thought. Becoming an architect won't be as easy as Mr. Alkami made it out to be, right?
So how much tuition are you paying?
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to crush your dreams. All I want to tell you is that an architect's life is not as carefree and easy as others may make it out to be.
I understand. Thank you for telling me the truth, Mr. Kaveh.
Oh, they're in
I'll
debt.
still stay here for the time being, though, since my family still hasn't paid everything off.
Yep. Massive debt. Oh no.
Paid off what?
Sorry, I can't say anything more. Mr. Alkami made it very clear that anyone who talks about it will be kicked out of the class.
So they have to go into debt for this, and if they tell anyone about all the money they have to pay, that's it. Wow.
I am the most famous architect in Sumeru. If he kicks you out, then I'll just take you in instead.
Really?
Why would I pull your leg? I can see you have some talent. So as long as you get your fundamentals down, you should be able to pass the entrance exam and continue your studies at the academia.
Then please keep this a secret for me, Mr. Kaveh. Truth be told,
Oh boy, here we go.
not very well off, so we couldn't really afford the tuition for this class. Mr. Alkami was the one who reached out to my parents. He told them that he knew a merchant by the name of Bahar and that we could get a loan from him. He told all the students that once we graduate, people would come flocking to commission us for projects. If everything went well, we'd be able to pay off everything in just a few years, and all the more we make after that would be ours.
How much did your family borrow from this merchant?
Oh boy.
I think it was several million mora.
Several million?
And what was the interest rate?
I'm not really sure. My parents were the ones who signed the contract. All I know is that the stack of papers was as thick as a slab of rock.
Several million mora. And you don't know how much interest. Something doesn't feel right about all of this.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling too. Something about the whole thing feels dastardly familiar. We need to find that merchant to confirm. But if we were to confront him right now, there's no way he'd admit to anything.
Well, Spinner, maybe you know the German term for it. Zinsen. Does that help you at all? We can pretend to be potential customers.
Good idea. Hey, tell me, do you know where we'd be able to find this merchant?
We last saw
Lore
him
in this
on
game,
the
of course
North
there's
Shore
lore
of
in this
Fort
game.
Worms. Who knows if he's still in that area, though?
Well, it'd still be worth taking a look. Architecture... No. The arts shouldn't be used as bait for a scam. We need to do something before the students' lives are ruined even further.
Alright. Let's start to the next person. All the way over there, huh? Do I teleport? I think it's faster to just go this way. Don't think I have, no. Doesn't teach shit about that's really important in life. Yeah, why would school teach you anything important? So you're the merchant, huh?
Oh. I don't think I've ever seen you guys before. Here for business?
You're Fahar, right?
Yes. May I ask who introduced you?
Alkami. My friend here wants to enroll in his architecture class, but they're a bit short on money. Alkami told us you're the man to go to in this kind of situation.
I'm really interested in architecture.
Oh, sounds like his business is booming. How much do you need?
Let me see. I'd say around 3 million mora.
Oof. You call that a bit short on money? Anyway, since you're
Yeah.
here because of Alkami, I can work things out for you. Make sure you sign the contract, though. Lots of people are borrowing money from me nowadays.
What contract?
Ah, here you go. Don't worry, there's nothing particularly unusual about it. All you need to do is pay back the loan in full within 3 years.
And what if they won't be able to pay it back?
What do you mean, won't be able to pay it back? Once you graduate from
Yeah,
Alkami's
totally.
place, you'll be
We
making
totally
millions
will.
of mora a year, easy. At that point, paying
But
this off
just
will be a
purely
piece of
theoretically, what would happen if we wouldn't be able to pay it off?
And even if you were to run into some difficulties and need to delay the installments, it's no big deal. We're all reasonable people here. If you can't pay quickly, you can just pay it back over a longer period. All that would change is your interest rates would get a little higher.
Yeah, just a little bit, huh? How much is a little bit?
It's hard work running a business. If we're taking risks to supply you with mora, it's only fair that you take on a bit of the financial risk as well. Anyway, there's no point in tying yourself in knots
Oh
over
boy.
the contract. With the way you're reading every single line, it's like you're worried you're about to get scammed out of your whole life savings.
Because we
Why would
are.
I lie to you? Tons of students at Alkami's place have signed the contract. Aren't they all doing pretty well for themselves?
They really aren't. 3 times every day.
I just
Oh
did some
god.
calculations in my head. When you say the interest will get a little higher, do you mean it'll get higher than 30%?
Oh boy, 30% interest. That is
Of course, the contract did a great job of trying to obfuscate that fact. It only listed the amount that you'll have to repay every day, which gives the false impression that the amount hasn't actually increased by all that much. If you actually do the math, however, it's clear that the amount you need to pay on interest alone will amount to hundreds of thousands of mora per year. Most people can't even make that much mora in a year. Your greed really knows no bounds.
Well,
Even my
then.
creditor doesn't dare to raise rates that high. Once a family signed on to a scheme like this, there's no getting out.
And you know what? You know why this guy can keep loaning money out to people? Because he just has to give people the money for the loan. They will then pay the dude who's running the lessons. And when he has the money, he's collaborating with this merchant. He's just gonna give the money back to him so he can loan it out to the next person. And it's just gonna cycle around. The money's just gonna cycle around between them. But with every time it cycles around, more people will have to pay them later on.
What are you trying to say, huh?
Each time the cycle completes, one more person will keep paying money into it. We mean to put you in jail for your crimes.
I figured something was off when 2 well-dressed people came looking for a loan. Think you got the better of me? Too many people are sticking their noses where they don't belong these days. Luckily for me, though, this is a pretty secluded spot. Hey, come out and teach these guys a lesson!
You are aware he has a vision, right?
Eremites.
And I'm the protagonist.
I've already fought off more than my fair share of them when I was working in the desert.
Also, there's water next to us, so I can insta-kill them.
There are only a few of them, so they shouldn't pose much of a threat. Marak, you're up.
No need for that, there's an easy solution to this problem. They're dead.
Who are you and what do you want?
First of all, teach your grunts to swim before you send them to attack us right next to a river.
I don't think we've done anything to hurt or offend you. So why go this far to destroy my livelihood?
Debt has the power to upend your whole life. I know very well just how miserable living in debt can be. But my debts are the culmination of many different factors, and my interest rate is still somewhat reasonable. As long as I continue to work with my situation in mind, my debts will eventually be paid off.
But with this interest rate...
These students are different. They have neither the mental preparation nor the financial resources to pay back a debt like this. You sold the dreams of becoming an architect to the students as bait, urging them to take on insurmountable amounts of debt to satisfy your greed.
Ha! Everyone knows there's no such thing as a free lunch. It's their own fault for falling into the trap.
So you admit it's a trap.
And if we're going to talk about greed, aren't those students the ones who are blinded by it? They completely ignore the risk that's right there in front of them.
That's no excuse for your actions.
And here comes the silver tongue. Surely you use that to reel in the students as well. Even now, many of them are still hopelessly dreaming of striking gold after they graduate. People grow by learning from their mistakes. I hope this will be a valuable lesson to them.
Okay, let me just increase the full amount. But yeah, you have more time.
Let's head back to the academia and turn this guy over to the Matra. They should be able to link him with Alkami's business.
You bring Fakar to the academia. Yep. Off he goes.
Sino? Didn't think I would run into you here.
The one and only. The one and only Sino.
Not too long ago. So I'm going over some cases at the academia.
Master of the trading card game.
Who's that?
You describe everything that's happened to Sino.
I see. Charging an interest rate over 30% indeed constitutes a crime, as it is highly likely that Alkami is also benefiting from this scheme. The Matra will open an investigation on him as well.
There we go.
The training center will be closed until further notice. Any funds we manage to recover from the suspects will be returned to the students. It's unclear how much we'll be able to get back, however, given their extravagant spending.
Yeah, yikes.
That should still be enough. Once the students realize the error of their ways, they won't fall so easily for such traps in the future. Anyway,
one can
thank you
hope.
For your help. I hope this won't be too much trouble for you.
It's no trouble. Just another day at work. How did you two get tangled up in this anyway?
Akami tried to hire Kaveh as one of his instructors.
Did you accept any mora from him?
He promised to pay me 300,000 mora per lecture, but I resigned as soon as I finished the first session. I didn't take a single coin.
Ah, that's good.
Otherwise you would be involved.
What do you mean, that's good? Would you have taken me into custody as well if I had actually accepted any mora?
Probably. At least you would have to be questioned.
But, had he insisted that you were also an active participant in his schemes, under our rules, we would have been required to open an investigation on you as well. Either way, though, I believe you are innocent in all of this. Had you actually been alright with making money through less than noble means, your life wouldn't be the mess it currently is.
There we go.
Hey, what was that? What do you mean my life is a mess?
It is, though.
Never mind. Your life is fine.
You're just messing with me now, aren't you?
Let's get back to business. If Alkami's case can be successfully resolved, you'll be eligible for a monetary reward from the academia. Don't forget to pick it up after the fact.
Ooh, how nice.
I didn't even know there was such a thing. I never would have.
That'll help you with your debt.
What I'm trying to say is that we didn't report Alkami because we thought we could make some more off of it.
The reward will be given regardless of your personal motivations.
There you go.
It was implemented with the intent of encouraging people to supply tips to the Matra.
Fine.
Hard up. Let's go.
Is there anything else?
But it'll remain a 2, I
want
think.
to go back to the training center one more time and talk to some of the kids.
Sure. But you should wait until tomorrow. My subordinates will shut down.
Ooh, this is a longer ending than I thought it would be.
Some of the students to gather information on the total amount of mora they've lost in the scam.
All right, then I'll stay out of their way. I can talk to the kids tomorrow.
I have a few other things to take care of, so I'll be off for now. If you want to follow up on this case, just come find me again. Or ask one of the Matra.
Okay, let's go. Gotta fast forward for another day, I guess.
Who would have thought it would turn out like this? All I wanted was to find a new gig and earn some mora.
Yeah, but you busted like some fraud, so that's
To think
nice.
Alkami would sink this low. It still makes me really upset. Still, I think I feel a little better now than when you found me back at the tavern.
Oh, how so?
It's a little ironic, but you could say it's because I've realized that there are many circumstances in the world that are even worse than my own.
Damn.
Now that I've seen such things firsthand, I suppose I've earned a new sense of appreciation for my life. How should I put it? I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to my profession, so I often argue with my clients. The arguments are usually extremely frustrating, and every once in a while I'd wonder if I only became an architect because fate wanted me to pay for some sins I'd committed in a previous life. Alkami's suggestion would have allowed me to quit my life as an architect and earn money solely from my reputation.
But you didn't take it.
Now that I've experienced that for myself, I can confidently say that I'd never want to do it
And
again.
that's why he thinks you're too rigid when it comes to making mora.
Every scholar has their own sense of pride and a line that they don't like to cross. Of course, when faced with the vicissitudes of life, some will surrender these things to seek a more comfortable life. I can understand that.
Past life or something like that.
Just speaking
Too
for myself,
relatable,
though,
sadly.
I don't think that's something I'd ever be able to do. The voice in my heart would just keep repeating one thing. The moment I turn away from my dreams would be the moment my career ends.
I know the feeling. At least it's not constant, but sometimes it
Stop
does feel
devoting
like it,
everything
I
to my
guess.
creative
I
activities.
guess.
I'd be able to lead a more comfortable
I'm sorry
life,
to hear that. That's
but
the case for you.
my sense of intuition and understanding for the arts would also begin to degrade. At that point, any materialistic ease I may have gained in life would just become another form of torment. In comparison, my current life comes with its share of difficulties, but at least I'd never have to deal with that kind of existential reckoning.
It's good to stay true to yourself.
I appreciate it. You may call me conceited for this, but I would also like to think I'm talented enough to be able to lead a decent life without compromising my pride. It's certainly not easy, but I want to keep at it. My thanks again for being such a great help throughout all of this. I'm planning to pay another visit to those kids tomorrow. Want to come with me?
Sure, I'll come.
Alright, I'll see you tomorrow then. Get some good rest.
And by good rest, you mean I have to do another time skip. Man, this ending is a lot longer than I thought it would be. Oh, it's something like that. Oh. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Well, I hope you're managing decently. Because I know life can get rough sometimes. And sometimes there's nothing you can do about it.
I never would have guessed Mr. Alkami was a scammer.
Oh, but he was.
The training center has been shut down, and the Madra have promised to return some of our tuition. But we've already spent so much time on this class. What should we do next?
Attend actual classes.
Mr. Kaveh said we can keep working on our fundamentals.
It's a bit of a
and
mental
try to get
pain.
into the
I see.
academia.
Could be worse, but definitely could be better as well.
Easier said than done. If it was easier to get into the academia, none of us would have signed up for the class in the first place.
But you got some new knowledge from
The
it.
best can get into the academia studying on their own.
You can study under Kaveh.
Mr. Kaveh might be willing to teach us.
Why? What reason does he have to stick around?
Because he's a good person.
So, you're the only ones that showed up today, huh?
Huh? Kaveh's here!
Now, that's Mr. Kaveh to you.
Let's
I'm
go,
here
he's
as
gonna
your instructor,
continue.
So let's keep things a little more proper. I'll keep instructing you for a while longer. You can pass on the message to the other students. As long as someone wants to come, they can join the class.
Let's go.
Oh, also, I'm usually pretty busy, so I'll only be able to teach architecture fundamentals on my days off. Another disclaimer, I can't promise that you'll all be able to understand everything I'm going to teach. Architecture is not an easy profession, Aesthetics
All
aside,
right, but he's
even the
gonna give them a
basics of safe
chance.
Design can already be a handful for most people. If you want to design safe buildings, you'll have to go through a systematic study of structural engineering. And just as a heads up, all of this will be a huge step up from the superficial stuff you were learning before. It'll take both talent and perseverance to get through the course. I don't want to hear anyone say that I didn't warn you.
We'll try our best.
Well, there we go.
It seems
Another
some of you
heart.
are really serious about this after all. All right, everyone, pack your stuff up. No need to prepare much for today's class. We're going to go on a quick field trip.
Where to?
You'll know once we get there. Come on, let's get going. We'll be off once everyone's grabbed their pencils and sketch pads.
Why is this so much longer than I expected? I thought we might even be... You remember earlier when I said, hey, we might even be able to do Kaya's final thingy. And now I'm sitting here. And I'm already past the time where I would have liked to end it. At this point, I feel like I'm so close to the ending. I can't just stop now. Alright, come on. Also, it doesn't look like we'll be raiding anyone today. 2 people watching, you know. Not worth raiding, so I'll likely just end the stream today.
This lighthouse
The
has been
tragedy
around
of
for a long
Genshin
time,
Impact, you know.
and I handled its
Nobody
renovations when
cares.
I first graduated from the academia. The point of today is not so much about the lighthouse as a building, however. I just want you to take a look at it and do a bit of self-reflection. If you were tasked today with designing a building, how would you want it to look like?
What the pain. Part of me wants to say yes, but I really need to sleep. That is part of the reason why I'm so upset at the fact that this is still going.
Draw the prettiest building that comes to your mind.
I really didn't think I would be going over the 3-hour mark by too far today.
So, it can be, any kind of building?
Yep, as long as you think it'd look good. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a building. If you want, you can draw trees, the ocean, or even a garden area. Draw whatever you'd like.
What's the point of this exercise?
In my experience, it's best to approach the study of architecture from a point of personal interest, rather than for the sake of a career.
Last message I sent you?
Both the study and
What,
practice
that's
of
fine?
architectural design are extremely difficult.
Or something in
A person
Discord.
who's forced to work on projects that they don't resonate with will only struggle and suffer. So at least for today, I hope the students will be able to create something
Discord,
that they enjoy.
okay. Well, I don't have
So no
Discord
need to
open
think about
right
it
now.
Too hard. They'll have plenty of time in the future to revisit the design and make changes.
The thing is, when I play Genshin, I literally have to close everything else because Genshin is a little bit harder on everything.
What do you think? Want to try your hand at it as well? Don't forget that this is a free class from Mr. Kaveh, the Light of the Kasharwar. On a normal day, this would cost you 300,000 mora.
Damn. Look at him joking. I mean, maybe I could now that I actually cleaned out everything. But I don't know. First class, your ideal building is also your safe haven. Of course. It's a teapot. It's the Serenity Pot. It is my ideal building. No surprise there. Alright, let's grab the rewards real quick. A few more Primo gems as well. And there we go. That is Kaveh all done. Let's check the achievements real quick and then I'll wrap things up. Again, no raid today because there's legit, well, nobody watching anymore at this point. So with that being said, I just want to thank those of you who are still here very much for watching. Starting Danganronpa Part 2. Still, I don't raid with this low of a view count normally because I feel like an attention hog. Plus, it's not like I'm gonna stick around anyway because I really need to go to sleep. So, if you want to, you can head over to Alex's channel. Or Stummy. But, I am not going to. not today. I am very sorry. In any event, thank you so much for watching. Next stream will be on Friday, back on the regular schedule, Friday, Saturday stuff. I'll still have to think what kind of FNF mods I'm going to be playing this Friday. We'll see when we get there. And you know the hype is going to be real for the next chapter of Raincoat when we get to that. In any event, that's it for today. I will see you next time. Until then, have a good one and bye-bye. And of course, goodbye if you're watching this as a VOD as well. Your support has also been greatly appreciated. If you want to catch my streams live in the future, if you're seeing this on YouTube, then you can check the link in the description below, which will take you to my Twitch, stream every Friday and Saturday, and sometimes other days as well. In any event, thank you, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.